Chapter 1421, Chapter 1421 Shearing the Four Holy Families Wool 1. Chapter 1421 Shearing the Four Holy Families Wool 1. Although 2 days had passed in the Four Saints' ruins, this place was still extraordinarily lively. Many Four Saints evolvers kept challenging the Four Saints' ruins. Many names had already appeared densely on the Four Saints leaderboard, but until now, no challenger could defeat the Guardian Holy Beast and reach 1 battle power unit. The difficulty of clearing the ruins made everyone's teeth hurt. Shiyu, on the other hand, never tired of it. He fused skills for Little Quass, Turtle, and Shorty. He had to fuse it. The reason why Shiyu didn't replicate it on a large scale was firstly because it was a waste of energy, and secondly, there would be a bottleneck in the skill index. At the moment, the skill index only had 70 skill slots, and it was almost full. The way to delete skills was first to maximize them and then, secondly, to fuse them into new skills. Apart from teaching skills, all the racial skills were quasi-divine skills. It was impossible to maximize them, so there was only one way to delete the fusion skill. However, although fusion could delete skills, the problem was that as more and more skills were fused, a situation would quickly appear. The 2 skills didn't have fusion compatibility, so they couldn't be fused. At that time, the skill index would really be full, and he couldn't delete it even if he wanted to. Of course, it wasn't very difficult for Shiyu to increase the page count of the skill index. At the moment, he had contracted 13 pets. The rule of the skill index was to increase the number of skill pages by 5 for every pet he contracted. However, the current upper limit of the pet Shiyu could contract was 18. Therefore, as long as he wanted, he could contract 5 more pets and increase the skill page by 25. This way, he didn't have to worry about the skill page for the time being. However, Shiyu wasn't very willing to do this just to replicate more skills and contract new pets. This was because when new pets arrived, they had to be cultivated too. At that time, the new pets would also need a pile of skill pages. In the end, it was still not enough. Moreover, he still had to spend more energy to add points. Shiyu had a headache. This was also the reason why Shiyu didn't awaken the demon cub after the gem cat brought it to the World King planet. He didn't plan to contract it, as he no longer wanted to nurture pets from scratch. It was also for this reason that the demon cub brought by the gem cat from Blue Planet had been neglected. Shiyu originally wanted to sell the demon cub to the demon race at a cheap price, but the demon race didn't recognize this ancestor at all and wasn't interested in the demon cub. Shiyu couldn't help but sigh. His options were limited. Therefore, Shiyu's treatment of the demon cub was to directly give it to the gem cat. If the gem cat was unwilling to become a healer, he would let the gem cat choose a beast tamer from Dong Huang and send it over. An orphan cub of the divine race would still be very popular with beast tamers. After all, it was a pet with quasi-divine skills. Once it contracted, it directly exceeded 99% of beast tamers. Of course, not wanting to nurture a new pet didn't mean that Shiyu didn't plan to contract a new pet. Be it the skill page or the stats feedback, they were what Shiyu needed. However, in terms of choosing, he definitely had to be careful next. There weren't many pets that could move his heart now. Even if they couldn't reach the level of Chi, they had to at least be like the Cosmic Behemoth. Shiyu was still quite interested in the racial talent of the Cosmic Behemoth race. Apart from being invincible and being able to cross the starry sky, the Cosmic Behemoth race could also open the Cosmic Hole, Planetary Teleportation Array, Interstellar Teleportation Array. They were created by imitating the Cosmic Hole skills of the Cosmic Behemoth race. It could be said that the Cosmic Behemoth race was the easiest race to cross the universe. If he had a Cosmic Behemoth as a mount, why would he need the Green Dragon or the space battleship Ling? Unfortunately, the Cosmic Behemoth race was also the most difficult race to contract. The strongest individual was a cosmic level race, and none of them were easy to deal with. The White King is here. Just as Shiyu was in a daze, the Four Holy Ruins suddenly became noisy. A strong white tiger man in armor with the word King on its forehead walked towards the White Tiger leaderboard step by step. His arrival attracted the attention of many people. Zhong Jie and Zi Jian, who were investigating the ruins, looked over. "Who is this?" Zijian asked casually. "He's just a small figure. He's the strongest quasi-divine of the White Tiger family and has mastered the prototype of a top-notch faith divine skill," a member of Zijian's special force said. "I didn't expect him to come first." President Zhong Jie of the Green Dragon family frowned. Among the strongest quasi-divines of the Four Holy Family, the strongest of the Green Dragon family was followed by the White Tiger family, the Black Tortoise family, and the Vermilion Bird family. This tiger man named White King had mastered the power of retribution. This skill could cause intense damage to everything that had ill intentions towards him. The Super Divine family head of the White Tiger family also mastered this skill. It was said that once, when the White Tiger family head went to the Starry Sky battlefield, the enemy Super Divine General learned that the White Tiger family head had arrived and became hostile to him. At this moment, both parties were still separated by a star domain. However, the White Tiger family head directly relied on the other party's hostility to cross a star domain and heavily injure the enemy, the Yun race's Super Divine General. The Super Divine General of the Yun race was immediately shocked when he didn't see his opponent heavily injured. He immediately retreated. The World King planet's bloodline successfully took down this area's resources. This legend had also warned countless lives on World King planet that it was best not to have hostility towards the White Tiger race. Otherwise, they wouldn't even know how they died. Of course, from the looks of it, it was indeed a little exaggerated. In fact, this power of retribution was a faith skill. It needed the support of a huge amount of power of faith to maximize its power. Back then, the White Tiger family head also consumed incomparable power of faith to successfully lock down the enemy. Chapter 1422, Chapter 1422 Shearing the Four Holy Families Wool, 2. Chapter 1422 Shearing the Four Holy Families Wool, 2. It could be said that as long as they were willing to expend the power of faith, even if the distance was far, enemies who harbored ill intentions towards themselves could be sensed. They could administer punishment across great distances. However, generally speaking, unless they encountered special circumstances, the White Tigers with this skill wouldn't use it casually, as the consumption of the power of faith was indeed enormous. In proximate combat, the power of retribution was much easier to use. After attacking the opponent, it could activate the opponent's malice and awaken the enemy's negative emotions. Then, it would cause a critical hit and release the power of faith needed. It was also much smaller than attacking an unknown enemy. This was also why the White King could be ranked as the second genius of the Four Holy Family. There's finally a strong one. Shiyu was also gratified when he heard everyone's conversation. White Tiger Retribution. He had long reserved this skill. With this, as long as there was enough power of faith to support it, he could largely avoid any conspiracy or assassination. Shiyu felt that someone like him, who could cause trouble, could have half a life more with a White Tiger's retribution skill. White King, you're finally here. In a camp around the White Tiger leaderboard, a top-notch divine White Tiger looked at the Tiger Man and said, "Uncle." The White King greeted the top-notch White Tiger god. "What's the status now?" At the moment, there's still no one who can overcome the Guardian White Tiger. The best result is 0.9 Guardian White Tiger power. It was fought by your big brother, approximately comparable to 90% of the Guardian White Tiger's strength. The top-notch White Tiger god deduced. Your strength is several times stronger than that of your big brother. It shouldn't be a problem for you to defeat the Guardian White Tiger. All right. The White King nodded and looked at the White Tiger leaderboard. Uncle, do you have any other instructions? If not, I'll try challenging it. Yes. Remember to leave all the treasures on you outside, the top-notch White Tiger god said with a strange expression. The other three Guardian Holy Beasts are all right, but this one is a little strange. Its attack can easily knock away the treasures carried by the challenger. At worst, it can cause a strong blow to the challenger's precious organs. Many challengers lack teeth, claws, and beards after coming out. It's very ferocious. The White King fell into deep thought and nodded heavily. Before coming here, what he had heard the most was that the guardian holy beast of the four holy ruins had very high control over the power of faith. However, he wasn't very worried about this. Even if he didn't use the power of faith, he was still the first tier below the divine realm. Although the power of retribution could only display the strongest effect with the enhancement of the power of faith, it wasn't impossible to use it without the power of faith. Even half the effect was enough. His best result in the God-sealing battle was ranked 20th, so he had the right to be arrogant. Although the rules in this ruin didn't allow human contractors to assist him, he alone was confident enough to say that he was the strongest White Tiger evolver below the God realm. At this moment, the White King was only worried that the guardian holy beast was an inanimate object and a program. It wouldn't be mobilized by the power of retribution. In that case, it would have the greatest headache. I wonder if the White King can clear it. As the White King arrived, many White Tiger evolvers made way. There was no need for it to queue. Everyone wanted to see if the strongest White Tiger evolver in the quasi-divine stage could pass the White Tiger leaderboard ruins. A moment later, the White King entered the challenge level. Inside the White Tiger ruins, the armored shorty looked at the White King in front of it with a burning gaze. "Challenger, tell me your name." "The strongest quasi-divine of the White Tiger family, White King." White King directly condensed a golden axe and made a battle posture, looking at the short-legged White Tiger in front of him. "Faith skill, White Tiger warrior." Weapons forged by the power of faith could be tempered with the power of faith. Meow. Both parties instantly attacked together. The White King leaped up. He listened to the other party's cry and fell into deep thought. Why did it sound like a cat? However, just as the White King had heard, the White Tiger's control over the power of faith was indeed very strong. It only had a trace of the power of faith that it could use. Even if it used the power of faith stored in its body, most of its strength would be deprived by the other party. Fortunately, the other party couldn't snatch away the faith arms that had condensed into a combat weapon. Boom! The golden axe was filled with purple light, and the laws of retribution lingered, turning into a purple-gold battle axe. The axe hit the tiger palm of Shorty. At this moment, to the White King's joy, the power of retribution could even activate the malice of the guardian holy beast. This attack directly caused critical hit damage, instantly sending Shorty flying. Bang! Giant cracks appeared on the armor, condensed from the strong power of faith in Shorty's body. It was only a step away from shattering. It was also smashed 100 meters away by the other party and hammered into the wall. Hee hee! The White King let out a triumphant roar and continued to charge. Even his trashy big brother obtained 0.9 Guardian White Tiger power. His strength exceeded that of the other party several times. It was reasonable for him to have Guardian White Tiger power several times stronger. However, just as the White King thought that victory was in its grasp and it could quickly suppress the Guardian White Tiger to win, the Overlord-level fluctuations on the Guardian White Tiger suddenly loosened, and its growth level increased to the quasi-divine level. In an instant, its strength increased greatly. Possession! At the same time, a voice that only Shorty could hear resounded in its heart. In Shorty's delight, she used spirit and soul, with the high-level use of the fusion talent and the form of the ruined spirit, possessed Shorty's heart and resonated with it. Chapter 1423, 1423 Shearing the Four Holy Families Wool, 3. 1423 Shearing the Four Holy Families Wool, 3. Boom! At this moment, the strength of Shorty, who had removed the level suppression, increased again. In addition, its control over the power of faith exceeded the challenger's, making the White King's expression change drastically. Damn, why did this Guardian White Tiger level up? As it was confused, the short-legged White Tiger flew up from the ruins. The White Tiger armor was instantly repaired, and its roar emitted shocking killing intent. The White Tiger demon, with every opponent it defeated, could temporarily increase its strength. Shorty, who had been fighting for 2 days and 2 nights, had already defeated countless opponents. It, who had been suppressing the White Tiger demon previously, had also completely activated the White Tiger demon at this moment. Boom! the blue baleful aura turned into flames and clouds that wrapped around Shorty. Coupled with the biting, cold, murderous wind, the White King instantly felt like he had fallen into an ice cave. A cold sword was pressed against his neck, and it was difficult to breathe. When he reacted, the tiger's palm wrapped in battle armor slapped over again. This time, the Faith battle soldier was directly shattered. Under the huge, incomparable power, the killing intent devoured the power of retribution. Then, right on the heels of that, it hit his chest. With a boom, the White King felt his entire body fall apart, and he flew backward instantly. All right. In the outside world, Shiyu's main body revealed a look of joy. He had obtained the other party's faith skill. This time, Shorty may become the greatest winner. At the same time, Shiyu roughly knew what level the God-sealing battle was at. Although the other party didn't have the power of faith to use at this moment and no contractor could assist in adding buffs, it wasn't a problem to roughly guess. Roar! Soon, the White King, who had been chased out of the ruins, appeared in the outside world covered in injuries, stunning everyone. Then, they quickly looked at the White Tiger leaderboard. The White King's name directly appeared at the top of the ranking, with the power of the Guardian White Tiger at 6.6. This was still the first time a number above 1 appeared on the 4 rankings. However, when everyone looked at the White King's miserable appearance, he didn't look happy to have obtained victory no matter how they looked at him. White King, what's wrong? Did you win? The top-notch White Tiger god of the White Tiger family immediately flew to the side and asked. I lost, the White King said. This? Then what's wrong with this ranking? The top-notch White Tiger god was stunned. How could he still lose with 6.6 Guardian White Tiger power? 1 Guardian White Tiger power should be referring to the strength unit of the Guardian White Tiger when it was maintained at the Overlord level. After I defeated it, it directly broke through in the next moment, the White King said. After the Guardian Holy Beast broke through, I was completely no match for it. What? What the hell? The Guardian Holy Beast could break through? In an instant, many evolvers who challenged the 4 holy ruins were stunned. Then did you receive the reward and trigger anything? The top-notch White Tiger god immediately asked. The White King shook his head and said, there's nothing. Apart from being beaten up, nothing happened. It was momentarily at a loss. He didn't know how he had come all the way from an extraterrestrial planet outside the World King planet. Perhaps, he had to defeat the quasi-divine level Guardian Holy Beast to obtain the reward? The White King looked at the rankings. Upon hearing that, countless 4 Saints evolvers fell into deep thought. They also looked at the 4 Saints leaderboard and felt that this was a ridiculous pit. Boring. I thought there would be some new gains, but I still failed. Zijian of the Cosmic Overlord troops was wearing an archaeological coat. When she heard the White King's words, she looked bored. Woo, the White King originally wanted to say that if she could do it, she should go ahead. However, after seeing the other party's identity, he gave up attacking. Instead, it said indignantly, it's impossible for quasi-divine level faith creatures to pass this level. If the Guardian Green Dragon is as strong as this Guardian White Tiger, even if Tianyu comes, he definitely won't be able to defeat it. This ruin is unsolvable, the White King said. After the White Tiger family's strongest quasi-divine, the White King, triggered the Guardian Holy Beast's breakthrough mechanism, many 4 Saints evolvers slipped away. They couldn't even defeat the White King, so how would they waste time? However, after the weak slipped away, the experts came one after another. After the White King, the strongest quasi-divine Vermilion Bird of the Vermilion Bird family, Hongji, who had mastered the World Destruction Flame, came to the 4 Saint ruins. However, although he obtained a good result of 4.1 Vermilion Bird power, Kai Tong, who was possessed by Shiyu, was still insta-killed and replicated the World Destruction Flame. Shiyu estimated that he could upgrade the Vermilion Bird clone to the World Destruction Vermilion Bird clone through fusion. Sister Hongji, you lost too. Get lost. Hongji, who was slashed by Kai Tong, had a sullen expression when she saw the White King running over. Why did the Vermilion Birds here play with swords? It didn't expect that it would actually be chased and slashed. It thought it would win. There was also the strongest quasi-divine Mingwu of the Black Tortoise family. Roar! After the muscular turtle was beaten out, it was incredibly furious. Although it was a black tortoise, it mainly cultivated attack skills. However, after fighting for a long time, not a single skill could break through the other party's defense. The black tortoise was really aggrieved. Turtle, looks like you lost too. The White King and Hong Ji paid attention to the entire process of it entering the ruins and coming out. Isn't this very normal? Mingwu cursed. If it could be cleared so easily, it wouldn't be the era ruin. The White King chuckled and said, I knew it. This ruin is unsolvable. Then, the strongest quasi-divine of the Green Dragon family, Tian Yu, and the genius in the top 10 of the God-sealing battle also came at the Four Saint ruins. If it had faced Shorty, Turtle, and the others, it may have been alright. Unfortunately, it encountered the strongest of Shiyu's for beasts, Buggy. The Green Dragon creation skill was entirely suppressed by the creation domain and crushed. Chapter 1424 Shearing the Four Holy Families Wool 4 1424 Shearing the Four Holy Families Wool 4 You lost too. The White King, Hong Ji, and Mingwu rushed over to congratulate Tian Yu. This guardian Green Dragon also mastered the power of creation. Tian Yu's face darkened. I can't use the power of faith, but it can. But what do the three of you mean? You seem very happy that I lost? White King, Hong Ji, and Mingwu couldn't deny it. Of course, that was an extraordinary joy. Are these guys here to be a joke? When Captain Zijian of the Special Battle Team, who was patiently cracking the ruins, saw the four geniuses of the Four Holy Family being sent flying out of the challenge ruins one after another, she couldn't help but mock. The four geniuses of the Four Saints family didn't look very smart. At this moment, Captain Zijian surprisingly saw a figure. That figure, like her, had a smile aimed at the geniuses of the Four Holy Families. Moreover, he smiled as if he was even happier than her. He hid behind the stone pillars of the ruins and smiled. Zijian? When Zijian saw this figure, she recalled something. This guy, wasn't he? Shiyu. Zijian activated telepathy with Shiyu from afar and shouted his name. As for Shiyu, who had had a huge harvest, he was also stunned when he heard someone call him. Then, he looked at Captain Zijian. So you didn't leave? You're smiling so happily. Could it be that you made some progress in cracking the ruins? You stayed behind to study this for holy ruins too, right? She looked at Shiyu from afar and walked over step by step. She quickly arrived in front of Shiyu. Although she had the appearance of a young girl, she was even taller than Shiyu and looked down at him. Captain Zijian, Shiyu was too happy and didn't notice the other party. He thought that the other party had already forgotten him. In the past few days, he had seen that Zijian and President Zhong Jie were very fixated with the ruins and didn't care about anything else. What can I gain? I just feel that it's a little interesting to see the geniuses of the Four Holy Families suffer, Shiyu said with an awkward smile. Have you considered my previous words? Are you interested in joining the Cosmic Overlord Army and serving me? She said. The Archaeological Association of the World King Planet can't even see your talent. You should know what's more suitable for you, right? Thank you for your good intentions, Captain Zijian. I'll consider it, Shiyu immediately said. I hope you'll consider it seriously. Seeing that Shiyu was really boring, Zijian snorted and turned to leave. As for Shiyu, he looked at the sky and continued to summarize his gains. After a few days since the opening of the Four Holy Ruins of the Heavenly Spirit Realm, in the Floating Realm, the Space Emperor kept hearing the news from the Heavenly Spirit Realm and was completely convinced. What did he say? An archaeologist was definitely not a down-to-earth profession. After hearing from Lin Feng that Shiyu had cracked the Four Holy Ruins, the Space Emperor was shocked and delighted. But soon, he understood that Shiyu was playing more and more over there. He had even messed with the younger generation of the Four Holy Families over and over again. He had already expected how much resistance Shiyu would face when he moved the ruins. The Era ruins had a very strong speciality, unlike ordinary ruins that could transform into ruins props and be casually taken away. They were like a small world. If they wanted to move away, it was worse than a planet wandering in the universe, and the commotion was even greater than the explosion of the sun. At that time, it was impossible to hide it. The entire heavenly spirit domain would be shocked. Old Wang, you're still worried? In the Sky City Temple, Lin Feng flew over and held a bottle of wine. Shiyu said that if he wants to obtain the authority of the ruins, he has to keep fighting. This can't be helped. Aren't you surprised? I originally said that it would take Shiyu a few years to achieve good results in the God-Sealing battle, but from the looks of it, in just a few months, his blue sea sprite has evolved into a cleansing star spirit. His iron-eating beast defeated the junior god of the Kirin race, and its mechanical phantom beast learned disaster skills. The 4 holy beasts he cultivated also quickly grew up because they cracked the ruins of the Era and acquired a huge amount of faith resources. That green dragon even defeated the strongest quasi-divine Tian Yu of the Green Dragon family, who's 8th in the God-Sealing battle, right? Why do I feel that this beast, Shiyu, can obtain pretty good results in the God-Sealing battle this year? As long as he can use those for holy beasts. Perhaps he can really vie with the top few monsters who took first place. We just need to resolve his mess. Yes, the corners of the Space Emperor's mouth also twitched. He didn't expect Shiyu to improve so quickly. The dragon god who came to the World King planet with Shiyu had cultivated 3 quasi-divine skills in a short period of time. It was already shocking enough, but Shiyu was even more ridiculous. Let's not talk about him first. How's the situation on Blue Planet? Lin Feng asked. Emperor Kong said, at this time, it should have completely revived. The latest news hasn't come yet. As soon as the Space Emperor finished speaking, in the teleportation area, Zilan, the disciple of the Space Emperor who used the teleportation keystones to travel to Blue Planet and World King Planet, flew in the direction of the Sky City Temple with an anxious expression. The Space Emperor frowned and looked in a certain direction. He muttered, what a coincidence. Our communication ambassador is here, but from the looks of it, what she brought back doesn't seem to be good news. Who? Lin Feng also looked in the direction Zilan flew in. Zilan, what happened? The Space Emperor teleported the flying Zilan to the temple from afar. At this moment, Zilan was panting. She looked at the Space Emperor and Lin Feng and said, Teacher, Lord Lin Feng, bad news. Chapter 1425 Shearing the 4 Holy Families Wool, 5. 1425 Shearing the 4 Holy Families Wool, 5. Something happened on Blue Planet. Blue Planet's revival failed? Lin Feng asked. No, it succeeded. A month ago, Blue Planet was successfully revived. In a month, it steadily completed its restoration. Those demigods who were stuck at the demigod level bottleneck for hundreds or thousands of years were able to break through. Those gods of the Blue Planet's mythical era also recovered their peak strength. Isn't that good? Lin Feng said. However, apart from allowing the current legendary demigod to break through and allow the gods of the mythical era to recover to the peak, the revival of Blue Planet has also awakened some invaders who have yet to be completely eliminated since the mythical era. In the past half a month, several divine levels have mysteriously disappeared. In the end, it's completely confirmed that they were swallowed by a remaining space worm. There's a space worm. I don't know what method it used to dodge the cleansing at the end of the Blue Planet War and survive until now. This space worm is very strong, and its strength has reached the realm of an intermediate god. Apart from the abilities of the space worm race, it also mastered the power of the Abyss. It might have devoured the Abyss invaders in its early years. The current junior gods on Blue Planet aren't its match at all. Most importantly, this space worm is very careful. It has been hiding in the dark and only ambushes divine-level creatures. It doesn't do any other damage and is still evolving quickly. At this rate, when it grows to the level of a high-level god, Blue Planet will be in danger. At this moment, when they heard Zilan's report, Emperor Kong and Lin Feng revealed serious expressions. There was actually a space worm left on Blue Planet? Where's the blue planet's will and the world tree? Those junior gods left behind aren't their match. It should have a way, right? Lin Feng said. Even if it hasn't recovered to its peak, it shouldn't be a problem to deal with an intermediate god. Zilan said, the blue planet's will can't confirm its position either. It said that the other party's ability is very strange and is similar to a cosmic behemoth. It said that not only might this space worm have devoured the flesh and blood of the Abyss race, but it might also have devoured the blood of the cosmic behemoth that was killed back then and then learned its divine power. It's very difficult to find. Moreover, the planet's laws have just been perfected. If the blue planet's will uses the power of the world to fight an intermediate deity now, the recovered planet will probably immediately fall back to its original state. What the hell? It devoured the cosmic behemoth and the Abyss race again. The three races have fused, Lin Feng couldn't help but say. So now, we can only come to Teacher and the others to ask for help. The present blue planet almost doesn't have any way to fight back this guy, Zilan said. The Space Emperor and Lin Feng looked at each other and were serious. The key was that they didn't lose for the time being. Although the present blue planet could accommodate divine levels, they couldn't pass at all. At the moment, on the World King planet, only Zilan, the Phoenix Man, the Angel race, the Demon race, the geniuses they brought, Shiyu, the Dragon God, and the Gem Cat could head to Blue Planet. Wait, you just said that the space worm nurtures the power of the Abyss, the Space Emperor suddenly said. Yes, Teacher. Lin Feng, go find Shiyu and let Shiyu return to Blue Planet. He should be able to settle this matter, the Space Emperor said. Let's prepare some tools that can be used by him. Ah. Lin Feng was stunned before quickly reacting. Yes, if it was a simple intermediate-level god, Shiyu definitely couldn't do anything. At the divine level, the strength of each stage would undergo a qualitative change. Even the number one in the past god-sealing battles, who had challenged for hundreds of years, had never been able to defeat an intermediate-level deity 2 levels higher. However, if this intermediate deity was an abyssal life form, it would be a different story. Shiyu had contracted the cleansing star spirit. To handle the Abyss race, the battle power of the cleansing star spirit had to increase by at least one level. This was restraint. In addition, Shiyu's cleansing star spirit's cleansing skill was a top-notch law that contained attack stats. It had to increase by at least 2 levels. In addition to their preparations, a cosmic abyss worm shouldn't be able to cause any waves. I'll go find Shiyu, Lin Feng said. Wait. Zilan was stunned. She looked at the two lords. The opponent was an intermediate god, but was he letting Shiyu go? Chapter 1426 Blue Planets Number 1 Person, 1. 1426 Blue Planets Number 1 Person, 1. Shiyu was addicted to pulling wool. The arrival of the geniuses of the Four Holy Family began to give Shiyu relatively good gains. Then, a month later, through continuous battles, Shiyu finally obtained complete authority over the ruins. For the past month, the four holy beasts in Shiyu's team had been fighting every day and at all times. The huge EXP bar was simply a leap in their battle power. Especially Turtle, Little Quass, and Shorty. Their strength directly changed from the little transparency of the second team to the monster level that wasn't inferior to the first team. Under the enhancement of the power of faith, it could also completely fight head-on with a junior god. Unfortunately, due to the specialty of the era ruins, it couldn't be turned into a ruin tool at all. Although he had completely become the owner of the ruins, Shiyu couldn't easily move them away. If he moved away, the commotion would be too big. At the moment, he had yet to legally obtain the identity of the ruins. He needed to consider it in the future. It was also because of this that Shiyu was still cultivating in the ruins and didn't leave immediately. Although he had already taken the greatest advantage, the one Shiyu had let into challenge was only at the demigod level. After that, he was also prepared to let the divine level in. At that time, he could start a new round of cutting grass. It's about time. From tomorrow onwards, I'll start to give the junior god the right to challenge. Standing in the ruins, Shiyu thought to himself. for the past 2 days, he had done nothing. It was to mobilize the essence of the power of faith in the ruins to temper the 4 holy beasts in the team. This process could optimize their 4 holy beasts' bloodlines and increase their bloodline levels. It allowed their physical strength, energy value, life force, spiritual power, and soul strength to increase greatly. In addition to the new faith skills that had been replicated and fused, their current bloodline levels should have already exceeded most divine level for holy beasts. They could even suppress divine level for saints evolvers with their bloodlines. Who? Shiyu, who was in deep thought, was suddenly stunned. He suddenly realized that Senior Lin Feng, who had left to return to the floating realm a long time ago, had come to the ruins again. Senior Lin Feng, have you calculated it? I was just about done here when you came. Just as Lin Feng entered, Shiyu teleported near him and said with a smile. He remembered that he had previously said that after obtaining the complete authority of the ruins, he would give Lin Feng a pile of the power of faith of the White Tiger. 2 days ago, he had just obtained the complete authority of the ruins, and now Lin Feng was here. It really didn't take a while. Shiyu. After Lin Feng arrived, he was slightly stunned when he heard Shiyu's words. You succeeded? He naturally knew what Shiyu meant by finished. Lin Feng couldn't help but be delighted. Good kid. With the 4 holy ruins, Shiyu himself cultivated the 4 holy beasts. After Shiyu stepped into the divine level, even if Shiyu was a pig, he could lead his pets to be almost invincible below the super divine. The Dong Huang bloodline on Blue Planet still had a very strong sense of belonging to the name Dong Huang. But soon, Lin Feng's expression changed. That's not the most important thing now. Let's talk somewhere else. I have other things to talk to you about. Who? Shiyu saw Lin Feng's expression change and said, all right. Did something happen to Teacher Ying in the Blue Wave world? I dreamed last night that she went berserk during cultivation and evolved from a cat into a golden leopard. No, Lin Feng was speechless. What kind of dream was this? Shiyu brought Lin Feng to an independent space. In space, Lin Feng said solemnly, something happened to Blue Planet. Lin Feng told Shiyu about Zilan's reports to the Space Emperor one by one. During this period, Shiyu's expression kept changing. In the end, when Lin Feng finished speaking, he said, why are there still remaining invaders on Blue Planet? The other party's methods are indeed shocking. Back then, among the 3 invaders of Blue Planet, this worm was one of them and swallowed the other 2. Its talent now should be only inferior to the Worm Empress at that time. The corners of Lin Feng's mouth twitched. It was all right to devour the Abyss race and successfully digest it, but this guy was actually suspected to have even swallowed a portion of the flesh and blood of a super divine level cosmic behemoth and survived. This was very terrifying. So it means that you want me to bring Susu back to kill, right? Shiyu said. Lin Feng nodded and said, none of the experts above the intermediate god level on the floating planet have the teleportation point of Blue Planet. We can't go over. Even if we can go over, the resources needed to reach the divine level are too expensive. We can't afford it. As for relying on interstellar navigation from World King Planet to Blue Planet now, even if it's very smooth, it will take several years. At the moment, you're the only one who can go back and deal with that guy. Susu can pose a threat to that intermediate god with the specialty of the cleansing star spirit. Moreover, you've also successfully forged the 4 holy ruins and accumulated enough faith power. The 4 holy beasts should be able to pose a certain threat to intermediate level, right? In addition, Senior Space Emperor and I will also prepare some equipment and assets to temporarily boost your strength. What we mean is that you should go back and take a look first. If you can't resolve it, I'll try to go to Blue Planet from here. Although it will take a long time, this is the only way. All right, I understand. I'll prepare and go back immediately, Shiyu said seriously. Lin Feng said, I heard that guy is fairly wretched. It clearly has the strongest strength on Blue Planet and has been preying in the dark. It conceals for a long time every time it hunts. After you reach there, you might not necessarily be able to locate it immediately. Chapter 1427, 1427 Blue Planets Number 1 Person, 2. 1427 Blue Planets Number 1 Person, 2. Therefore, the situation on Blue Planet shouldn't be that bad. Set off after you've prepared adequately. I see. Then I'll accumulate more power of faith, Shiyu said. As for the opponent being very sneaky, that wasn't a problem. Back then, Yunnan was also like this. However, through the owl's premonition, he still found it. Even if the prediction owl couldn't predict the divine level location, there was still Shorty. Now, Shorty had also learned the Retribution White Tiger skill. At that time, it could shout and curse that worm, as long as it developed a trace of hostility. In that case, Shiyu could squander the power of faith to find its location. Senior Lin Feng, help inform Teacher Ying of the Blue Wave world and let her go back with me. I might need her help. Teacher Gem Cat's Wish Star skill. The opponent was an intermediate level god. Even if Shiyu had a bunch of advantages, he didn't dare be sloppy. He had never fought an intermediate level god. It was already so difficult for 11 to fight a weak initial level god of the Kirin race. One could imagine the strength of an intermediate level god. The opponent was a monster of the space worm race that suppressed all the gods on Blue Planet. They had to be fully prepared. In terms of strength, it might be close to a high-level god. Although the cat wasn't strong, it was always good to have more support. Shiyu had also copied the Wish Star skill, but unfortunately, his pets didn't learn compatibility. It was a huge loss. A moment later, Senior Lin Feng left. Shiyu shouted at Buggy, Kai Tong, Turtle, Little Quas, and Shorty at the same time. That's what happened. Next, we might have to return to Blue Planet to deal with the unexpected situation. We can't take away the 4 holy ruins, but we can take away some faith power. I'll give you a day. Try your best to absorb the power of faith and store it in your bodies until the limit. I will also condense the power of faith into a faith crystal through authority and store it away. Roar! Buggy and the others replied in their territory. Intermediate god? This wasn't easy to fight. Yee! Only Baby Ginseng was slightly excited. Was its divine level first clear finally here? Lin Feng, the Space Emperor, and the others placed their hopes on Susu and the 4 holy beasts, but Baby Ginseng was also very impressive. So what if 11 defeated a Primera level god? It was going to blow up an intermediate level god now. Baby Ginseng, assist well and don't think too much. Blue Planet has just recovered and is still in a weak stage. It's not for you to blow up. Baby Ginseng, woo 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 woo. Shiyu shook his head and began to condense the faith crystal, preparing to take it away as a resource. This also required time. At the same time, he also began to summarize his profits during this period of time and formulate tactics. On Buggy's side, the skills didn't change much. Shiyu also copied a few Green Dragon faith skills, including the Green Dragon creation of the strongest quasi-divine feather of the Green Dragon family. However, these skills were all included by Buggy's skills. The success rate of the fusion of the Green Dragon creation domain and the creation domain was actually extremely high. After fusing, Shiyu realized that the abilities of these two skills were 99% similar. It was almost as if the same skill had changed its name. Fortunately, it didn't occupy the skill slot. Apart from that, the other faith skills that Shiyu took a fancy to were also perfectly included by the creation domain and the Green Dragon indestructible body. They had all fused. The current Green Dragon indestructible body could be said to be a very perfect physique. As long as there was the power of faith, one could achieve immortality and could recover from injuries in seconds. It enabled one to unleash bursts of energy, allowing Buggy and the others to fight for a month without resting. It was all thanks to their abnormal physique skills that they could use the power of faith to recover from injuries, vitality, and energy without any burden. Just like Buggy, the changes on Kai Tong's side were also relatively small. The compatibility between the Vermilion Bird clone and other faith skills was very high. The few faith skills copied had also been fused into the Vermilion Bird clone. Among them, the greatest gain was the World Destruction Flame. This was a true divine skill that contained the prototype of a world-destroying law. It was stronger than the destruction law mastered by Little G. Of course, according to the creation domain, it was still a little inferior. After all, creation was much harder than destruction. If Buggy and Kai Tong's improvement was just icing on the cake, then the enhancement of the fusion Black Tortoise and the armored White Tiger was a qualitative change. Name Shorty. Race skill. Quasi-divine level, Metal Control, Expert, Gem King Eye, Expert, Killing Wind, Expert, White Tiger Fiend, Expert, Faith skill, White Tiger Divine Armor, Expert, Faith skill, Retribution White Tiger, Expert, Faith skill, Treasure Hunting White Tiger, Expert. Apart from the most special Retribution White Tiger, the other copied Faith skills were fused by Shiyu into the White Tiger Armor skill. The White Tiger Armor evolved into the White Tiger Divine Armor. The difference of one word was like the difference between heaven and earth. The current White Tiger Divine Armor had almost become the normal state like Buggy's Green Dragon Indestructible Body. It had various effects, including healing, strengthening, defense, eruption, attack, support, and many other abilities. It could be said that compared to the real body of Shorty, the White Tiger Divine Armor was more like its main body. As long as the enemy didn't completely blast the White Tiger Divine Armor into nothingness, all the damage Shorty suffered would be transferred to the armor. Even if its main body was blasted into pieces, there was still a fragment of the armor outside. It could also rely on the power of faith to be reborn with this armor fragment. Chapter 1428, Chapter 1428 Blue Planets Number 1 Person, 3. Chapter 1428 Blue Planets Number 1 Person, 3. At the same time, Shorty could also condense the White Tiger Divine Armor and let other people wear it, such as Shiyu. Moreover, the White Tiger Divine Armor could also resonate and strengthen, forming an army skill effect. It wasn't a big problem to create a White Tiger army wearing the White Tiger Divine Armor. Name Fusion Black Tortoise. Race skill, Quasi-Divine level, Quas Control, Expert, Water Control, Expert, Absolute Zero, Expert, Faith skill, Dark North Shield, Expert, Faith skill, Sea Suppression Seal, Expert, Respect skill, Holy Black Tortoise Body, Expert, Faith skill, Turtle Divination, Expert, Faith skill, Black Tortoise Fist, Expert. It was the same for Turtle and the others. First, a pile of messy faith skills fused into a perfect physique skill. This time, with the Black Tortoise Divine Power as the core, it fused into the Holy Black Tortoise Body. Apart from that, Turtle's Water of Life also fused in and was absorbed by the higher power. Little Quas Vortex Strangulation fused into the Water Control. The nature of the Green Dragon Indestructible Body, the Vermilion Bird Clone, the Holy Black Tortoise Body, and the White Tiger Divine Armor were similar. Their abilities were very comprehensive, but in some directions, their specialization was a little different. The Green Dragon Indestructible Body focused on strength and speed, mainly battle power. This might not be the true physique of the 4 Holy Green Dragons, but it was Buggy's own wish. Their evolutionary directions were all according to their own ideas. For example, Buggy wanted to be first on the team and compete with 11. Its Green Dragon Indestructible Body mainly focused on battle power, and all other abilities were in service of battle. For example, Kai Tong's wish was to protect Shiyu. The Vermilion Bird Clone could make one soul indestructible, complete evolution, and become a real life form, reviving from the dead. It could be said that Baby Ginseng's undying fruit, together with the blessings of the Vermilion Bird, was equivalent to Shiyu having an immortal body. Even if its body and soul were destroyed, as long as Kai Tong didn't die, it could save Shiyu through the traces of the contract. On the other hand, the Holy Black Tortoise Body had unlimited life and endless energy. It could share its life with others and let people live a long time. It was probably not a problem for Shiyu, who had contracted it, to live for as long as he wanted. As the Turtle Prime Minister, it was its wish to allow Shiyu live for a long time, while Little Quas wanted to have more energy to serve Shiyu. From this, it could be seen that their skills had very strong preferences. Although they were all blended and evolved, they were more or less affected by their preferences. This was also a characteristic that Shiyu only discovered later. The skills evolved and blended are related to the experience, personality, and wishes of the pet. It's a manifestation of the heart. As for the greatest trait of the white tiger divine armor, it could naturally share the armor with others and let others increase in all aspects, forming an army skill. Shiyu calculated that this cat really wanted to establish some Shiyu divine sect. It had even prepared the team uniform for its believers. It was the white tiger divine armor. Of course, this wasn't the most important thing. The most important thing were the two new skills obtained by the black tortoise. Faith skill, turtle divination. Faith skill, black tortoise fist. Although turtle divination wasn't a battle skill, Shiyu replicated it almost immediately after discovering it. He was even more pleasantly surprised than seeing any skill. He was almost knocked out by joy. In Shiyu's opinion, this skill was simply too impressive. With the help of turtle divination, the black tortoise could sign a temporary contract with other lives. Then, it could form an alternate space. This alternate space was called the Netherworld. In the Netherworld, it could consume the power of faith and summon this person's ancestor soul. It wasn't really awakening the undead, but finding traces of its history in the universe. Just like how the shadow of history in the ruins would be recorded by time, traces of life forms actually could too, but it was even harder to see, and this skill could do it. In the Netherworld, the black tortoise could consume the power of faith to ask some questions to the awakened undead. Then, it could bring back the answers and show them to the world in the shape of a prophecy. Wasn't this an awesome archaeological skill? The one who knew this skill was a divine-level old turtle. The other party was quite famous in the entire World King planet. With this ability, it also earned a lot of faith power. The condition it gave for divination was that it had to double the price of the power of faith needed. Shiyu didn't replicate this skill while in combat, but this old turtle set up a stall in the ruins. Shiyu found other opportunities to replicate it. In Shiyu's opinion, this skill was his greatest gain this time. Turtle was forever a god. The other was the black tortoise fist. It was a skill with a very simple name. Shiyu had replicated it on the strongest quasi-divine of the black tortoise family. This skill sounded ordinary, but the effect was extraordinary. Just like the Dragon Star group, the black tortoise fist could be condensed in advance. It could store the fist intent that had blended with the power of faith in its body. However, unlike the Dragon Star group, as long as the black tortoise fist blended a trace of power of faith, it could increase the power of faith itself endlessly, thereby strengthening its strength. It could be said to be a faith skill that saved a lot of power of faith. Moreover, the increase in speed wasn't slow. Coupled with the terrifying lifespan of the black tortoise, one could imagine how terrifying the strength of the black tortoise that knew this skill could erupt if it seriously prepared for battle and endured for millions of years before fighting. If the faith overdraft that Shiyu wanted to learn was alone, then this black tortoise fist could actually be saved and even generate interest. This opened a new path of thinking for Shiyu. Chapter 1429, Chapter 1429 Blue Planets Number 1 Person, 4. Chapter 1429 Blue Planets Number 1 Person, 4. It could be said that if it weren't for the fact that in this ruin, Turtle and the others had the absolute right to control the power of faith, in addition to the fact that the genius of the Black Tortoise family was young, this battle wouldn't have been easy. Ruins. Why are the ruins closed? A few days later, something unexpected happened in the Four Holy Ruins. Under everyone's stunned expressions, the Four Saints leaderboard emitted a violent light. A large amount of essence power of faith spewed out of the Four Saints stone tablet. Seeing this, many of the Four Saints evolvers' eyes turned red, but the power of faith of the Four Saints seemed to have a master as it lingered around the four lives, not giving others a chance to fight. Lightsymbol.cm These four lives were surprisingly the strongest quasi-divines of the four major families. During this period of time, they had maintained first place on the Four Saints leaderboard and were the challengers with the best battle results. Seeing the appearance of the Four Holy Ruins and rewarding them, everyone also felt that it was only natural. However, for these four people, that's it? The genius quasi-divine of the Four Saints family sensed the power of faith lingering and fell into deep thought. The power of faith was too weak. For the other four Saint Evolvers, this might be a lot, but who were they? The Four Saints family was the strongest below the divine realm. Every year, the power of faith distributed by the family was more than this. This wasn't why they wasted a month in the Four Saints' ruins. Soon, everyone was teleported out. Damn it! Captain Zijian looked at the closed ruins and was very dissatisfied. She felt that it was such a shame. The ruins closed at this moment, making her suspect that the ruins were targeting her. Be content. Usually, the Four Saint ruins only open for 10 days. This time, it's only shut after a month, someone said. How can I be satisfied? In the past, even if it only opened for a day, I could still obtain some power of faith, but this month. It seems like no one has obtained the power of faith. This time, it's a huge pit. No, no, no. Those geniuses from the Four Saints family still obtained it. It's still a scam. Many Four Saints Evolvers cursed. When Shiyu heard that, he felt extremely guilty. He retreated slightly behind the crowd and prepared to leave. It wasn't that he was stingy. Instead, it was because he couldn't bear to give too much. It didn't matter if he was extravagant with his pets. However, giving the force of faith to people he didn't know was even more uncomfortable than killing him. Shiyu only gave some to the 4 leaderboards on account of the fact that they had provided for top-notch skills. Otherwise, he wouldn't give a single bit of force of faith. For Holy Ruins. See you in a few months. Shiyu left the 4 holy ancient city dejectedly. Although he couldn't take away the 4 holy ruins, he had taken away a large number of faith crystals this time. This amount was enough for 4 little holy beasts to dissipate their support points every day and fight above their level for a few years. It was enough for a long time. Floating Realm. Soon after, Shiyu returned. Just as Shiyu arrived at the Sky Temple, he discovered that the Space Emperor, Lin Feng, the Dragon God, and the Gem Cat were all here. Senior Space Emperor, Senior Lin Feng, Senior Dragon God, Teacher Ying, Shiyu immediately said after landing. Yes. Everyone nodded. You're here. The Space Emperor said, did the preparations go smoothly? Yes, Shiyu said. Then I'll leave Blue Planet to you to take a look, but don't force it. If you're not an opponent, retreat immediately. Then, let Lin Feng slowly rush to Blue Planet, the Space Emperor said. Woo! Lin Feng looked bitter. To be honest, he didn't want to undergo a few years of starry sky navigation. It was too boring and too dangerous. I'll do my best, Shiyu said. Is Senior Dragon God going back too? The Dragon God shook her head and said, forget it. I can't help you even if I go. I'll leave it to you. The Dragon God was naturally informed that something had happened to Blue Planet, but she was helpless. Even if she returned to Blue Planet to break through, she wasn't a match for an intermediate god. Lin Feng said, only you this time. Teacher Ying will go. Sigh. Teacher Ying had a bitter expression. What was going on? Previously, she didn't want to come to the World King Planet because she was worried that the World King Planet would be in danger. In the end, now that she had come to the World King Planet, Blue Planet was the one in danger first. Moreover, it was pulled to a perilous place by Shiyu to commit a sin. Of course, Teacher Ying only complained on the surface. If the danger involved Dong Huang, she would definitely attack with all her might. 100 years ago, an undead disaster happened in the ancient capital. The Gem Cat could have escaped, but in order to save the students at that time, it still exceeded the limit and completed its evolution, leading the teachers and students to counterattack. Unfortunately, this story was only living in legends. After entering a peaceful era, Teacher Ying seemed to have its will corroded by corruption and became more and more corrupt. If it weren't for Shiyu's admission, she might still be counting money at Ancient Capital University. There's no time to lose. Teacher Ying, let's go, Shiyu said to Teacher Ying after obtaining the backing equipment and resources from the Space Emperor and the others. All right. Both parties took out the teleportation keystones and the cosmic crystals prepared by the Space Emperor. Have a safe trip, the Space Emperor and the others said. Wait for our good news, Shiyu said. As the cosmic crystal fused into the teleportation keystones, Shiyu and the Gem Cat's bodies were wrapped in strong white light. Then, they disappeared from the World King planet. After they left, the Dragon God looked worried. Emperor Kong said, Senior Dragon God, don't worry. Believe in Shiyu. When Lin Foam and I were legendaries back then, we were already mixed in the battlefield with top-notch gods and were chased all day. What he's facing now isn't an impossible challenge. To him, it shouldn't be a crisis. Young people have to experience some training. Chapter 1430, 1430 Blue Planets Number 1 Person, 5. 1430 Blue Planets Number 1 Person, 5. Lin Foam said bitterly, stop talking, or I'll start crying. At the thought of Shiyu's comfortable life after coming to the World King planet for the past few months and how this vice president had even cracked an era ruin, he felt that he had suffered too much at that time. That's true. The Dragon God nodded. Although she felt that it was a little difficult for Shiyu to face an intermediate god after coming to World King planet to cultivate for a few months, she was relieved when she thought of the miracle Shiyu had created previously. Blue Planet, Inatella. After a few months, Shiyu and Teacher Ying returned. I didn't expect to return after leaving for so long. The current Blue Planet is much more comfortable than before. Shiyu sensed Blue Planet's current situation and smiled. Yes. The Gem Cat looked around in its cat form. Although it was much inferior to the Blue Wave world, it was already much better than the previous Blue Planet. Teacher Ying, have you thought of how to deal with that Demon Divine Stone? Why don't you give it to Senior Lu and the others? Shiyu said. I won't send you off anymore. The Gem Cat muttered. I'll raise it myself. On World King planet, I want to do something big. I can't always rely on clones. I have to have other underlings. Moreover, this little demon is too pitiful. First, it was despised by you, then by the demon god race. It can be said to be a divine-level orphan. I feel that it's definitely a protagonist. Its future is immeasurable. Shiyu fell into deep thought and said, all right. Then you can do it. Don't cripple it. What do you mean? What do you mean? As the two parties conversed, a green tree worm crawled over from somewhere. When it saw Shiyu and the Gem Cat, it was extremely surprised. Shiyu? Why are you guys back? The World Tree clone frowned and realized that things weren't simple. The Space Emperor's disciple, Zilan, left and ran to the World King planet to find a way to solve the hidden danger of Blue Planet. In the end, Shiyu and that cat returned? Didn't something happen to Blue Planet? I came back to settle it. Shiyu stretched out his hand and greeted the World Tree clone. Yo, long time no see. Long time no see, the Gem Cat also uttered lazily. After seeing the world, it sensed different when it came back to its poor hometown. It looked at Blue Planet's World Tree as if it was looking at the village chief. The World Tree clone. Wait. The World Tree clone was slightly shocked. Something was wrong, right? The hidden danger was an intermediate god, and it wasn't a weak intermediate god. Shiyu would solve it. Shiyu's previous strongest legendary status, the strongest identity below the divine level, was no longer useful on the current version of Blue Planet. Don't underestimate me, Shiyu said. Yes, don't underestimate this kid. 11 can defeat a junior god on World King planet alone without the enhancement of a beast tamer, the cat said. Now that their entire team is back and they have the support equipment of the Space Emperor and the others, an intermediate god can't cause any trouble. Ah. The World Tree clone was bitter. Beginner gods were different from intermediate gods. However, since the Space Emperor and the others had sent Shiyu back, Shiyu should have a way. The greatest issue now is how to find it, the World Tree clone said. After finding it, I'll attack with you. We have to destroy this guy. Although there might be a risk of falling to the world level if he used the power of the world now, the internal hidden danger still had to be eliminated. I already have a way. What way? The World Tree clone said. Shiyu said, baiting law enforcement. World Tree? With that baby ginseng? The World Tree said, that guy is cunning. Your baby ginseng is only at the demigod level. Even if it's very nourishing, it's definitely more nourishing at the divine level with divine power. It might not fall for it. No, I mean baiting all the divine levels on Blue Planet at the moment. Moreover, this is only one of the methods. I'll find the other methods. Lord World Tree, can you help me connect to the divine level of the entire Blue Planet? Shiyu said. Although the World Tree was confused, it still nodded and helped Shiyu connect to the native gods of Blue Planet. In the next moment, the divine-level beast tamers of the 7 countries, such as Dong Huang Divine Source, the 7 Islands Valkyrie, the Elven Empress in Tingxiang, the revived gods, such as Ancient God Golden Bull, who was a guest in Dong Huang, and the new gods on Blue Planet, all received the notice of the World Tree. During this period of time, because of the Devour Assassin hidden in the darkness, everyone at the Blue Planet divine level felt threatened. The mentality of an old god like Ancient God Golden Bull was relatively stable, but some new gods of the Totem Empire were too panicked. They had just advanced to the divine level, but their lives were in danger. Now, they really hoped that Lord World Tree could quickly find a way to deal with this worm in the darkness. Hello, everyone! However, to the surprise of these gods, the voice of the World Tree didn't come from the telepathy that connected the world's divine levels. It was another familiar and unfamiliar voice. The new divine-level beast tamers of the 7 countries were immediately stunned when they heard this voice. Shiyu? The divine source legendary in Dong Huang was very shocked. Wasn't this Shiyu's voice? Shiyu was back? Everyone, I'm Shiyu. I was entrusted by the World Tree to address the invaders of Blue Planet. I've temporarily came back from World King Planet. Please remember what I'm saying now in your hearts. If anyone accidentally encounters that monster next, please mention my name to it and say that I'll penalize it. After Shiyu finished speaking, many divine levels were shocked. What? Before the mythical revival, the #1 person on Blue Planet, Shiyu, had returned? The goal of returning was to destroy this intermediate god? Many divine levels sensed that it was ridiculous. No way. The Ancient God Golden Bull didn't believe it. However, through telepathy, Shiyu's attitude wasn't to be doubted. Although this method was simple, it was practical. As long as the other party was hostile to him, Shorty could consume faith power perception and lock onto the other party through the Retribution White Tiger skill. At that time, those who chanted his name would be protected. Chapter 1431, 1431 The Owl's Past Life, 1. 1431 The Owl's Past Life, 1. Dong Huang. As Shiyu broadcasted to the global divine levels, they immediately knew of Shiyu's return. Sigh, what does this kid mean? In the Ancient God nursing home in the capital, Ancient God Golden Bull was wearing a black suit and had an evil expression. He sat on the sofa and muttered. Could it be that he broke through to the divine level? Oh no, I finally recovered to the divine level and still want to fight him one day with the level advantage. If he also breaks through to the divine level, it's a little dangerous. No, very dangerous. Old Bull, hurry up. Let's go to the Dong Huang Association. Shiyu will probably return to Dong Huang later, the tiger god, Lai Shanjun, said as he walked out of a room. Let's go, let's go. Ancient God Golden Bull stood up and took a look. In Atella, Shiyu also left. As he couldn't find that worm in the short term, Shiyu informed the World Tree and returned to Dong Huang first. Shiyu first arrived at the headquarters of the Dong Huang Association. The former President Divine Source and President Lin Xiao were both here. After returning, he naturally had to report. Everyone's here. However, Shiyu didn't expect that there were really many people here. After he teleported over, he realized that not only were President Divine Source and President Lin Xiao present, but the 7 gods of Inatella and even the Prediction Owl were also present. It was fine if President Lin Xiao mixed in among the 8 divine levels, but why was the owl, who wasn't even a demigod, also here? Was it a dog-headed military advisor? Shiyu. President Divine Source saw Shiyu and the Gem Cat and said, "Did Senior Space Emperor and Lin Feng let you come back?" "Yes. They asked me to give it a try first. If I can't solve it, they'll think of a way." When Shiyu finished speaking, Divine Source and the other gods looked at each other. Since the Space Emperor and the others had said so. "But what's with the method you just mentioned?" President Lin said. "It's a perception skill, one of the ways to find that monster. However, there's only one way that's not safe. I might have to ask Teacher Owl to predict it." Shiyu looked at the owl. He had temporarily prepared 5 ways to find that monster and planned to use them together. He didn't believe that he couldn't find the other party. "Me?" The prediction owl had a bitter expression and said, "Sigh, I really predicted it. Otherwise, why do you think I'm here? However, I can't do it. I can't predict it." Shiyu chuckled and said, "After all, it's a premonition above your level. It's normal that you can't predict it. I brought back a modified reincarnation fruit that can allow your strength to temporarily reach the divine level for an instant. Moreover, didn't I bring Ling and Teacher Ying back? If they assist you together, the success rate will definitely increase greatly." HMPH, the Gem Cat girl nodded. She just had to make a wish. Woo, the prediction owl sighed. Prediction above its level. It had already expected that it would be like how it predicted Yunnan at that time, losing half its life. "Shiyu, did you break through to the divine level?" At this moment, Ancient God Golden Bull asked. "Who?" Shiyu said, "No." Ancient God Golden Bull was stunned. "No? You want to rely on the demigod level to find that monster? It already has the strength of an intermediate god. If you say that you can defeat it above your level after breaking through to the divine level, I'll believe you. You still want to skip 2 levels? I know, but I can't break through yet," Shiyu said helplessly. "Firstly, I just reached level 9 not long ago. I'm still a distance away from the divine level. Secondly, if I break through to the divine level, I won't be able to participate in the God-sealing battle of the World King Star. This competition is especially important. It determines whether Blue Planet can quickly become a super divine planet. Demigod. It should be enough. Why, Senior Bull God, you don't trust my strength?" Shiyu smiled kindly and said, "I didn't work for nothing on World King Planet these few months." "Why don't you spar with 11 again?" "That's not what I mean." Ancient God Golden Bull said in all seriousness, "But you can spar if you want." Everyone was speechless. Why were they going to spar as soon as they met? The Bull God really didn't give up. 11. Woo! Under Shiyu's summoning, 11 opened its starry eyes and appeared in the outside world. It looked around and then at Ancient God Golden Bull. "Hee, come and let me test your progress." Ancient God Golden Bull took a step forward and pushed 11 out with one hand. Ancient God Golden Bull didn't believe it. It had already recovered to its peak restoration, but it still didn't believe that it would be defeated by a demigod. Seeing this, everyone followed, also wanting to see Shiyu's so-called enhancement during this period. However, when they arrived at the duel arena below the association, President Lin suddenly recalled something and said with a bitter expression, wait, this place can't withstand your battle." Although they had already upgraded again and again, enduring a demigod-level battle was already the limit. "Don't worry," Ancient God Golden Bull said. "My control over divine strength has already reached the microscopic level, and my power won't leak out at all. If you don't believe me, you can ask them. However, this little guy's battle fluctuations are indeed not small." The Bull God looked at 11 and fell into deep thought. In its opinion, 11 was a huge baby with power. The previous time they fought, Inatella almost sank. It was too much. Woo. 11 also expressed that it was fine. Its quasi-divine skill proficiency had been included to the expert level by Shiyu. It was no longer an issue to control. It was no longer at the stage where it had just acquired a quasi-divine skill. Chapter 1432, 1432 The Owl's Past Life, 2. 1432 The Owl's Past Life, 2. Don't worry, 11 can also control crowd control well, Shiyu said. A simple spar. Teacher Owl, stop looking. I'll give you the reincarnation fruit. I'll eat it to adapt to my strength first, Shiyu said. I'll do it. I have it here. The gem cat took out a reincarnation fruit and handed it to the owl first. Shiyu said. Ayo. Good lord. The owl took the fruit and sensed the rich time power on it. Its eyes lit up. Hee, quickly give it a try. The gem cat came to the owl's side and said, this fruit has already been upgraded. Previously, when you ate it, it didn't have any effect. Perhaps your previous life wasn't just a demigod, but a divine level. Now, it can definitely be traced back to the past. Really, the prediction owl pondered. The gem cat revealed a sharp gaze. It was real and fake. The fruit's effect was real, but it didn't believe that the owl had a divine level past life. The reason why it was looking forward to the owl eating it so much now was that it had asked baby ginseng to create this fruit. A hybrid version of the effect of the reincarnation fruit and the taste of the cultivation fruit. It had specially kept it for the owl to eat at such a time. It couldn't be the only cat to experience the taste of the cultivation fruit. Come on. In the duel arena, Ancient God Golden Bull and 11 faced each other. The owl, who was just about to eat the fruit, couldn't help but look over. At the same time, President Divine Source and President Lin Xiao were also watching seriously. Their gazes were solemn and serious. Although Divine Source had broken through to the divine level, it had never engaged in a divine level battle and was still modifying machinery. As for President Lin Xiao, after reaching the legendary level, he also wanted to know the true meaning of the divine level more. This battle might be a very good lesson. Apart from that, the other 6 Inatella gods were also quite serious. They also wanted to know if Golden Bull's body was rusted. Bang! In the form of a bullman, the corners of Ancient God Golden Bull's mouth curled up. It first disappeared and instantly arrived beside 11 like a golden light. Who? 11, who didn't activate one thought of God and demon, was also shocked. It didn't expect Ancient God Golden Bull's full-strength state to be so strong. Its speed was actually much faster than melting ice cream on World King Planet. If the Ice Kirin was a mage, then the Ancient God Golden Bull was a warrior. I can't see clearly. Divine Source Legendary observed with his mechanical eye and couldn't discover Ancient God Golden Bull's movements at all. President Lin Xiao also had a serious expression. Boom! Accompanied by a loud bang, everyone present saw that Ancient God Golden Bull's uppercut had already hit 11's stomach. At the same time, under the huge force, the ground of the entire arena shattered. The atmosphere trembled, and a hole appeared in the sky. With a bang, 11 was directly smashed into the sky like a flying meteor by Ancient God Golden Bull and passed through the hole. The commotion of this punch was definitely not big for divine level power. Just as Ancient God Golden Bull had said, its power was controlled very well and was all focused on 11. However, although the commotion wasn't big, President Divine Source and President Lin Xiao's mouths were wide open. President Divine Source's mechanical eye locked onto 11, who was sent flying, with a shocked expression. Boom 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 boom. Because under the impact of the shocking power, sounds of tearing through the air kept coming from 11's body. It was still flying backward, passing through the clouds and the ozone layer. The power on its body had yet to disappear until the starry sky. Woo! A moment later, 11 was sent flying into the universe by Ancient God Golden Bull's punch. Its body shattered a small planet before stopping. 11 floated in the universe in confusion and opened its eyes. It touched its stomach and indeed felt some pain. What a joke! What power is this? President Divine Source said. It was beaten into the starry sky? President Lin suddenly turned around. What? Was there really a fist that could blast an opponent into the starry sky? This was a divine level battle? He looked at the muscular ancient god Golden Bull and sensed the power of its physique. With such a physique, it would probably be unscathed even if forbidden arms bombarded it. Holy shit, awesome! The Prediction Owl's gaze also lingered on the sky and ancient god Golden Bull, and it subconsciously took a bite of the reincarnation fruit. Ha ha, my Golden Mountain divine body is in perfect condition. Ancient god Golden Bull looked at the starry sky and said excitedly. In the surroundings, when the 6 Inatella gods saw this, they sighed with emotion that ancient god Golden Bull's divine body was still so strong. Now that ancient god Golden Bull had recovered his divine power, he finally didn't have to be as aggrieved as in the World Tournament. This attack is strong, but the damage won't be high. I held back. Speaking of which, have you completed the evolution of the cosmic life form? Can it return on its own? If not, I'll go seize it, ancient god Golden Bull said. However, before it could finish speaking, a light flashed in the starry sky. Woo woo woo. As a voice sounded, ancient god Golden Bull revealed an incredulous expression. He suddenly turned around and looked behind him. What a joke! The boar god, the eternal tree, the holy divine deer, and the other gods looked at 11, who was clearly propelled into the starry heavens by ancient god Golden Bull's attack and returned in the blink of an eye. Moreover, there were almost no wounds on its body. They couldn't understand. Woo! 11 shook off the dust on its body. Although the Golden Mountain divine body was strong, it was indeed impossible to injure it. Buzz! Black and white lightning sparks shot out of 11's body, and electric arcs flowed out of its eyes. With a step forward, its figure instantly disappeared and it arrived in front of ancient god Golden Bull. Bang! Everyone only heard a bang and saw ancient god Golden Bull's figure suddenly bend like a shrimp. 11's lightning fist directly and gently strike ancient god Golden Bull's abdomen. Ancient god Golden Bull's stomach quickly caved in, and his eyes were about to pop out, as if he had suffered a huge impact. However, his body wasn't propelled, but directly leaned forward. Chapter 1433, 1433 The Owl's Past Life, 3. 1433 The Owl's Past Life, 3. Buzz! 11 took a step back. Electric arcs came out of ancient god Golden Bull's body. He couldn't control the passiveness of his paralyzed body and took a few steps forward. He hugged his stomach and said with a distorted expression, "No, impossible." He, Shiyu said. Bull God, you'll believe me now, right? 11 didn't use its full strength either. This attack shouldn't have injured it. Before Shiyu could finish speaking, ancient god Golden Bull fell to the ground with a bang and fainted. Shiyu and 11? Who? Shiyu was stunned. How could he fall like this? Although 11 had used the divine demon thought, ancient god Golden Bull's defense was definitely stronger than ice cream. He was unable to be so brittle, right? At this moment, the other 6 Inatella gods were also quite shocked. They didn't expect that the iron-eating beast in the World Tournament was already so strong. It was unable to rely on beast tamers to suppress the true god level at the demigod level. What a joke! They looked at Shiyu uniformly. Was this guy really the son of fate on Blue Planet? The increase in strength was really incomprehensible. Shiyu! 11! Divine Source Legendary and President Lin, a new god and a new legendary, compared their strength to Shiyu and felt suffocated. Shiyu wasn't lying. He was really ridiculously strong now. Don't worry about old Bull, Lai Shanjun said. It might not have fainted from its injuries. It fainted from embarrassment. Ah! Smelly! In addition, ancient god Golden Bull wasn't the only one who fainted. Prediction Owl was watching the battle as an onlooker when it suddenly smelled the reincarnation fruits it had eaten. The stench rose and Prediction Owl was about to faint. Its feathers had turned green, and its gaze was hazy as it shouted, "Stupid cat, what did you feed me?" Reincarnation divine fruit, the gem cat said. This is the taste after this thing upgraded. Don't worry, it's not poisonous. The Prediction Owl directly fainted and entered a dream. What's going on? President Lin was numb. Before Shiyu returned, the Dong Huang Association had never been so noisy. It's all right, it's a good thing. The gem cat turned into a fun cat, but soon, its expression stiffened. Because the sleeping owl suddenly got up like it was sleepwalking. Some memories flowed through its mind and it muttered, the astrologer race. Gem cat? Damn! What was the astrologer race? What was this owl saying? The gem cat suddenly had a bad feeling. The surrounding people and gods were also confused. In the next moment, with a boom, nomological ripples appeared on the prediction owl's body, and its aura suddenly increased. When it opened its eyes, the time hexagram on its chest flickered, and its demigod aura was undoubtedly revealed. This scene directly made everyone present reveal shocked expressions. The toes of the fallen ancient god Golden Bull also twitched, feeling rather surprised. There really is? Shiyu muttered. He was also very surprised. Damn, so the owl really had a previous life. Previously, eating the reincarnation fruit was ineffective because the level of the previous reincarnation fruit was too low. It looked like it worked this time. Initially, he only wanted to use it as a time fruit for Teacher Owl. From the looks of it, it was an unexpected surprise that directly sent it to the demigod level. This guy's breakthrough speed was only inferior to Shiyu, the gem cat, and the others in Dong Huang's batch of nearly 100 years. Ha 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 ha. After the owl broke through, it opened its eyes and laughed. However, as it laughed, it started to sob. I remember everything. I am a super genius girl of the astrologer race. In nearly 10,000 years, I'm the youngest peak divine level expert of the astrologer race. Since I was born, the success rate of the prophecy was 100%. I've never made a mistake. Woo woo woo. Old witch, why are you crying? The gem cat was confused. It was the one who wanted to cry. Why was it only a demigod in its previous life? The owl was a top-notch god. Moreover, the identity introduction this old witch mentioned was ridiculous. A super prophecy master at the peak of the divine level? It wasn't convinced. It had only picked up the treasure of the star prayer race in its previous life, but this owl was directly an astrologer in its previous life. Although the gem cat didn't know what the astrologer race was, it could sense that it should also be a big race in the starry sky. Woo woo woo. The prediction owl cried very sadly. It said, in my previous life, I reached the peak of the divine level very early. Then, I began to go out to train. Through the premonition method, I foretold the opportunity for myself to break through to the super divine level. During my travels in the universe, I successfully foretold that there were era ruins on Blue Planet. In era ruins, there were more than one sources of transcendence. Therefore, I went to Blue Planet excitedly. In the end, because I was too excited, I didn't predict the disaster of the universe during the process and directly failed, becoming on the verge of death. Then, in order to protect my life, I was forced to reincarnate. I didn't expect to be reborn to Blue Planet. Moreover, after reincarnation, I was so miserable. My prophecy power was greatly reduced. Most importantly, I actually became a cat. The gem cat said, "Please face your identity." You're a bird, I'm a cat. Inatella and the other gods were stunned. Listening to the owl's self-report, they felt that it was ridiculous. This unreliable owl in Dong Huang was at the peak of the divine level in its previous life. It was a big boss of the same level as the ancestral dragon and the origin phoenix. What a joke! President Divine Source and President Lin also felt that it was extremely ridiculous. What did Teacher Ying feed Teacher Owl just now? It was really some reincarnation fruit and not some hallucinatory poison? Astrology race. At the scene, Shiyu might be the only one who trusted Teacher Owl the most. He believed in the effect of baby ginseng's reincarnation fruit. In addition, Teacher Owl's prophecy was indeed very impressive. At the Overlord level, it could predict demigod level things, and it was several times in a row. This situation was already extremely abnormal. Only special talent could explain it. Just like the star prayer race, if the talent of the star prayer race was to make a wish, then the talent of the astrologer race was to predict. Of course, there were many races that could predict the future, but there were really not many whose premonition abilities were stronger than the astrologer race. Shiyu had seen the introduction of this race on World King Planet. It could be said that even if Ling learned future prediction and had the strengthening of the Wind of Blessing, it might not necessarily be more accurate than the astrologer race's prediction at the same level. This was a matter of racial talent and skill compatibility. It was equivalent to saying that a dog and a fish could swim, but no matter how superb a dog's swimming skills were, it was very difficult to surpass a fish. "Teacher Owl, congratulations," Shiyu said. In short, it was a good thing. When he brought Teacher Owl back to the World King Planet later, wouldn't he directly get intimate with the astrologer race? It was a super genius of the astrologer race and a candidate for the next patriarch. "So I'm so strong." Teacher Owl wiped its tears. "Ha ha ha, moreover, it's not too late to reach the super divine level. As long as I recover the power of my previous life, Although I congratulate you on recovering your strength and I'll help you, I still have something sad to tell you," Shiyu said. Divine Source Legendary and President Lin were also stunned and thought of something. Shiyu fell into deep thought and said, "The era ruins you foretold in your previous life with the Source of Transcendence should have been cracked by someone. The Source of Transcendence has also been used. What a pity." Why did he feel that the ruin that Teacher Owl had foretold was the ruin that Emperor Shi had entered? Why don't Teacher Owl fight Senior Emperor Shi? The prediction owl was stunned. It widened its eyes and directly had a heart attack. Its body fell backward and fell to the ground in a daze. Chapter 1434 half a year later, 1. 1434 half a year later, 1. Shiyu was still impressed. The owl was very strong. It could actually predict where the Source of Transcendence was. At this level, no matter which cosmic level faction it joined, it would definitely become an expert. However, it was indeed too unlucky. When it came to find the Source of Transcendence, it actually died on the way. Moreover, after waking up from its reincarnation, the Source of Transcendence was already in this process and was taken away by others. It was a huge injustice. Its unlucky level was comparable to the Kirin race. Shiyu and the Gem Cat looked at each other. Shiyu said, "Teacher Owl might be too tired. Let it rest first." "Shiyu, what exactly is that reincarnation fruit you gave it just now?" The chef, the boar god, couldn't help but ask. It looked so impressive and awesome. Shiyu smiled and said, "A asset condensed from a time element divine skill." Right on the heels of that, Shiyu explained the impact of the resurrection berry to everyone. After hearing it, many gods found it unbelievable. "How about this? I'll give everyone one." Shiyu took out 9 reincarnation fruits and gave them to the 7 gods of Inatella, Divine Source, and President Lin Xiao. In the 4 holy ruins, they used the power of faith to create a large number of cultivation fruits, reincarnation fruits, and other fruits. It could be said that they had completely escaped poverty. "For us?" Lord Lai Shan and the other god smiled and chased him away. "All right, good kid, I didn't misjudge you. In the world tournament, I could tell that you were a dragon among men." The gods were moved. They felt that this thing was even more precious than the divine-level resources they had passed down to Shiyu. Shiyu had actually given it to them. "President Lin, I'll prepare another 50 cultivation fruits for Dong Huang later. This fruit can increase the cultivation efficiency of the user and has the highest compatibility with human-beast tamers. If we use these 50 fruits reasonably, Dong Huang should be able to have a few more powerful legends," Shiyu added. Since he had returned, Shiyu also planned to help Dong Huang again. "Cultivation fruit?" Divine Source Legendary's eyes lit up. "What good thing is this? The effect on level 10 isn't that obvious. The lower the user's level, the better the effect. Of course, you can eat one if you want to experience it." Shiyu chuckled. "Probably. It allows the user to automatically meditate and develop beast-taming abilities when sleeping. Moreover, the efficiency is quite high. Now, the beast tamers on Blue Planet have all started to cultivate their second and third beast-taming talents again. With the support of this cultivation fruit, it can double the impact and half the effort. I understand. It's indeed a good thing, President Lin Xiao said. I'll choose a suitable nominee and distribute the cultivation fruit. All right, Shiyu said with a smile. Beside him, the gem cat had a strange expression. Shiyu was going to drug Dong Huang collectively. Ha ha ha. It wondered if Shiyu would let Qingyi and the others eat this thing. The gem cat had already started to look forward to them fainting from the stench. The painful expressions of the second-generation heirs in the Blue Wave world were still vivid in her mind. Well, seniors, time is tight. I'll bring Teacher Al to prepare first. I also have to prepare the other battle plans, so I won't stay long, Shiyu said. If there's anything, we'll contact you. No problem. Everyone nodded. They would listen to Shiyu's arrangements. The owl, whose heart ached so much that it fainted, was pulled away by Shiyu and the gem cat. After leaving, Ling was summoned by Shiyu and turned into a cosmic battleship that flew into the starry sky. It wanted to build a technological product in the universe, the Eye of the Universe, to monitor the changes in Blue Planet space. The Eye of the Universe was an indispensable facility for the battle between two planets in the space war. If a certain group took a fancy to a planet, they would often create the Eye of the Universe in the outside world first and occupy the right to information to prevent the enemy from escaping the planet and seeking help from the outside world. This was also one of the ways Shiyu found that monster. The Space Emperor and the others had already prepared the blueprint and materials. However, everyone wasn't sure if the Eye of the Universe created by Ling could capture the other party, but it was never wrong to be more prepared. Apart from that, the time sprite Qi was also summoned and entered Blue Planet space and time. Its hiding ability was also top-notch, and its ability to find people wasn't bad. Shiyu, you're back? I heard you're back to deal with that intermediate god, right? Shiyu had just arranged the mission for Qi and Ling when Senior Lu suddenly called. Yeah, Senior Lu, you're pretty well informed. Shiyu smiled. It's all right. No matter what, I'm one of the few legendary beast tamers in Dong Huang now. Lu Qingyi smiled. What? Shiyu was stunned. You've reached the legendary level? When did this happen? He looked at the gem cat girl who was flying in the air, dragging the falcon and giving it a wake-up slap. So fast? The gem cat was also very surprised. What? When she left, Lu Qingyi had just broken through to level 8. Teacher Ying is also here. Not long after, it's mainly because the information about the ruins you left behind is very valuable. I gained a lot from it. In addition, when the mythical revival happened, the world tree gave the world the blessing of life, so it happened, Lu Qingyi said. Is this how it's used? Shiyu was helpless. I previously said that I would wait until you reached the legendary level to find the teleportation keystones for you. I didn't expect it to be so fast. Wait for me for more than half a year. At that time, no matter who it is on Blue Planet, they can freely head to World King Planet. Shiyu said. Chapter 1435 half a year later, 2. 1435 half a year later, 2. First place in the God Sealing Battle, Permanent Teleportation Array. He was determined to win. We'll talk about this later. I have something to tell you in person. Are you free now? Let's talk about the gains in a certain ruin. All right, where are you? I'll look for you, Shiyu said. It looked like Senior Lu had obtained some impressive gains and wanted to split them with him. Ancient Capital. Shiyu and Lu Qingyi arranged to meet here. In a courtyard with lush plants and fragrant flowers, Lu Qingyi, who was wearing a white casual suit, saw Shiyu and said, "Where's Teacher Ying?" "I'm busy," Shiyu said. To be precise, he was taking care of the owl. The owl looked like it had fainted from the stench and its mentality had collapsed, but it was more because the power of the astrologers in its previous life was too huge and it had to sleep and digest. Therefore, the gem cat pulled it to find a place to rest. Senior, what's so urgent that you have to say it in person? Shi Yu asked. Both parties found a small table and sat down. Lu Qingyi said, in the information about the ruins you left behind, there's a legendary ruin left behind by Yu Maiden. I obtained her inheritance inside. Oh, Shi Yu said. Wait. Shi Yu didn't care much about the inheritance of a legendary beast tamer. However, suddenly, he was slightly shocked. It's worth your attention. In other words, not only did you obtain some resources, but you even inherited that person's talent. Plunder talent? Lu Qingyi smiled and said, that's right. Then, she told Shi Yu about Yu Maiden developing the plunder skill in her later years and handing down the talent. After Shi Yu heard it clearly, he directly took a deep breath and said, Senior Yu Maiden is also a super genius born in the wrong era. Shi Yu was really quite cowardly in the early stages of this ability. What if the skill index could also be plundered? Is there such a talent in the universe? Lu Qingyi asked. I've never heard of it on the World King planet. Even if there is, it should be the exclusive ability of some special races. Humans don't have a clear cultivation method, Shi Yu said. It's also possible that it's too taboo and the records will be erased. This talent is very good. However, after plundering the opponent's ability, the other party will die. Senior, don't expose it easily. Blue Planet is alright, but when we reach the World King planet, there will definitely be problems. In the universe, many races with rare abilities were captured and extinct, Shi Yu said. For example, the Time Sprite, or the source of inheritance obtained by Teacher Cat, the Star Prayer race, had also encountered the danger of extinction many times. On Blue Planet, there were also examples. The Wind Kirin race was the first to be targeted because their abilities were very strange. This plunder talent would definitely become a thorn in some people's side, or they would want to snatch it and use it. In addition, the activation condition of the plunder talent was that the target of the pillaging had to be at the border of life and death, and couldn't resist. Then, after the ability was plundered, it would immediately die. It was much more ferocious than the skill index. With this ability, if Senior Lu made a friend, the friend would probably not be able to sleep in the middle of the night, afraid of being assassinated. In short, it was very strong. Of course, as the skill index was updated, Shi Yu was very certain that it was the strongest ability. Evolution talent and plunder talent had to be pulled aside, unless the plunder talent could plunder the index. I know, Lu Qingyi said. After obtaining this ability, I haven't started using it yet. This should be a path of no return. After starting, I couldn't stop. Shi Yu also picked up the tea and took a small sip. He nodded. Indeed, although there was no good or evil ability, this plunder talent could easily lead people astray. However, why not use it if you have the ability? You can specially choose those convicted felons who have committed vile offenses first. Dong Huang, Dragon Palace City, and the Alliance, don't they all have various ferocious sins? Those who can be specially imprisoned can't be weak. Senior, you're suitable to be an executor. I've thought of that too. Lu Qingyi smiled bitterly and said, after all, I can't really hunt other beast tamers. I've also thought about baiting like you. Shi Yu smiled in embarrassment. As expected, his heart was also black after being cut open. I understand. When I encounter a life-and-death strong enemy in the future, I'll spare the other party's life and let you kill it, Shi Yu said. In addition, can't the plunder talent also create special ability tools? If you don't need them, you can also create them for me to use. The Awakening Mirror and the Body Control Talent Bead were both implements created by Yu Maiden. This was something that the skill index couldn't do. The skill index could only target transcendent lives, but the plunder talent could even target humans. You're pretty open-minded. Unfortunately, I don't know how to give you the talent. Otherwise, you would definitely be able to use it, Lu Qingyi said. Don't think too much, Shi Yu said with a smile. Talent didn't matter. A skill index was enough for him to use at the moment. Even with the cultivation fruit, his current talent couldn't be developed at all. Well, since you say so, I'll start to use the plunder talent. With this, do I have a chance to surpass you in strength? Lu Qingyi smiled. Shi Yu chuckled and said, Senior, don't even think about it. I just cracked an era ruin on World King Planet and acquired a huge amount of resources. After I break through to the divine level, my strength should be able to quickly surpass the Space Emperor, Senior Lin Feng, and the others. You can't catch up. Chapter 1436 half a year later, 3. 1436 half a year later, 3. There's still some hope if you run to the World King Planet and plunder all the talents of those human geniuses from super divine families. Lu Qingyi? What era ruins? A small ruin of the four holy beasts, a small ruin. Shi Yu didn't expect to receive so much good news on his return to Blue Planet. First, the owl successfully activated the effect of the reincarnation fruit, and then Senior Lu obtained Yu Maiden's inheritance. Their abilities were the same as Teacher Ying's. They were both top-notch skills with support effects. At a certain moment, it could reverse the situation and increase the benefits hundreds of times. After chatting with Lu Qingyi about the World King Planet, Shi Yu received a call from the Gem Cat. Shi Yu, the old witch is awake. When do we start predicting? Shi Yu glanced at Senior Lu in front of him and said, Senior, I'll deal with that monster first. Let's talk when we're free. Be careful, Lu Qingyi said. She didn't have a deep understanding of intermediate gods. She felt that since Shi Yu could return to deal with it, there was no problem, unlike the World Tree and the others who were conflicted. All right. Shi Yu nodded. A moment later he appeared at the top of a tall building and saw the prediction owl sitting on the roof. Sigh, the prediction owl sighed. It had just made a prediction only to discover that the era ruins and source of transcendence were really F*King gone. Reincarnation was a mistake. An owl that has lost its dream. The cat girl introduced it to Shi Yu. It doesn't matter. It's just a source of transcendence. Since I can predict it once, I can do it a second time, the owl muttered. Kid, I'll help you predict it this time, but after settling the matter here, think of a way to bring me to the World King Planet too. No problem, Shi Yu said. Then, Teacher Owl, when do we start? Let's go to the starry sky. It's better to use the power of the stars to predict the effect, the prediction owl said. When Shi Yu and the others heard that, there was no problem. They directly headed to the starry sky. Through telepathy, Shi Yu got Ling in the starry sky to prepare a foothold. Soon, Shi Yu and the others appeared on the deck of the battleship Ling. I'm starting, the prediction owl said. Let's begin. The Gem Cat and Ling were already familiar with it. The combination of the three parties made the owl sigh at how good this combo was. Buzz. Under the lingering starlight and wind of blessing, the prediction owl activated the time hexagram and entered the prediction state. It'll be very difficult this time, it began. Firstly, it was because the premonition target was stronger than it now, even if it used the power of the reincarnation fruit. Secondly, apart from the other party's existence information, there was no effective information about the other party at all. All the best, Teacher Owl, Shi Yu said. At this moment, baby Ginseng was already on standby. It appeared on Shi Yu's shoulder and prepared to be a healer at any time. Boom! Soon, the owl's state quickly decreased, and its life force and energy began to disappear quickly. Seeing this, baby Ginseng's nourishing power immediately followed, allowing the owl to continue its premonition without any distractions. Soon, the prediction owl predicted a dark space. It was trying to predict the other party's location, but apart from the dark space, it couldn't see anything. The owl was covered in sweat, and the feathers on its body began to fall off. The hexagram flashed like a weak Ultraman. Was the old witch all right? At this moment, the Gem Cat beside him also looked weak. As a wish owl, it could predict success, but the backlash of the wish seemed to be very big this time. Of course, compared to the main owl, its consumption was still bearable. A moment later, the owl's body was filled with a death aura as it sat on the deck. "I'll try my best." Turtle, Little Quass, Buggy, Kai Tong. Shiyu immediately summoned Little Quass, Turtle, Kai Tong, and the others in the fusion Black Tortoise state. He could tell that apart from its life force flowing away greatly, its soul had also suffered a backlash, and its condition was extremely poor. This made Shiyu involuntarily summon the few pets that could heal people to collaborate with Baby Ginseng. "Yeah!" Baby Ginseng cheered for everyone. "Everyone, work harder!" Wu, sensing the nourishing treatment of the entire team that Shiyu could only enjoy when he added points, the owl heaved a sigh of relief. "No, I can't predict the location of the other party's next appearance." This. Although Shiyu had already expected it, his heart still turned cold. Wu, what happened to the strong alliance? One of the search plans failed? However, don't underestimate me. The prediction owl tried its best to stand up and say, although I didn't predict its location, I changed the course of my premonition. I predicted when it would appear next. If there aren't too many changes during this period, the probability of it appearing at that time is the highest. Really? Shiyu was delighted. The jewel feline beside him, which was being nursed by Baby Ginseng and the other pets, also revealed a surprised expression. This night bird was good. When? Shiyu asked. The prediction owl said, about half a year later, around here. At this time, try to monitor the various locations on Blue Planet with all your might. Ooh? Shiyu was stunned. Really? Half a year? Wait a minute, the deity sealing conflict was held in 7 months. Shiyu yet wanted to quickly complete his opponent and come back to get ready for battle. Chapter 1437 half a year later, 4. 1437 half a year later, 4. This guy appeared at the right time for the god-sealing battle. Probably, the owl said. Didn't they say that guy appeared every few days in nearly half a month? Why is it taking so long this time? The gem cat said. Fighting and eating in succession also requires time to rest and digest. Perhaps it has already started to recuperate. When it appears again, it might be stronger than the last time, the owl said. Shiyu said, in half a year. His expression kept changing, and he finally sighed. Then let's wait for it. In any case, he had brought enough resources from the World King planet. Blue Planet had already revived, so it was the same to add points here to prepare for the god-sealing battle. If he couldn't make it in time for this god-sealing battle, he would participate in the next one. In any case, the interval between each batch wasn't long. Of course, during this period, Shiyu wouldn't wait for death. He would also use other methods to find the monster worm. Wu, I'm so tired. I'll leave the rest to you, the owl said tiredly. Shiyu, be careful. The other party's strength isn't weak. Don't worry. Shiyu said. Blue Planet is our home ground, Susu's home ground. After returning to Blue Planet, apart from the power of the starry sky, Susu could also mobilize the power of the sea. It was definitely invincible. Teacher Owl, I'll look for you if there's a problem. All right, I'm going to digest the power of my previous life, the owl said. The next time we meet, I won't be like this. You can look forward to it. Shiyu and the gem cat were stunned. From the looks of it, this guy wanted to optimize its race and return to the posture of the astrologer race. The astrologer race seemed to also be in human form. The gem cat snorted. How could the owl be prettier than it? Teacher Ying, what do you plan to do next? Shiyu turned to look at the gem cat. I'll hatch that demon cub and take care of the Chamber of Commerce on Blue Planet, the gem feline said lazily. Remember not to run around. We're in a dangerous moment now, Shiyu said. The gem cat, of course I know. After the 3 parties confirmed it, Shiyu got Buggy to send them back, while he was still standing in the starry sky. Shiyu? Chi flashed around Shiyu and said with a dejected expression, I didn't locate it. Qi originally felt that it wasn't difficult to find a hidden worm, but the other party hid deeper than it imagined. As expected of a worm that had swallowed the flesh of a cosmic behemoth. Qi knew that the damage the Abyss race and the Worm race caused to Blue Planet back then wasn't even a tenth of the damage caused by the cosmic behemoth. After all, the first two races only targeted life forms on Blue Planet at the start, but the cosmic behemoth directly targeted Blue Planet itself. It's all right, Shiyu encouraged. After all, your strength hasn't recovered yet. After you become stronger, look for it again. I'll teach you the star refinement skill now. Let's find a suitable place to release the spatial stars we carry. During this period of time, you have to hurry up and refine them. After refining them into arms, your strength will definitely increase. When the time comes, you might be able to locate it. Ooh? Qi was very surprised, her cherry eyes shining. She could finally learn how to refine stars into arms. Great! This was the first step for her time sprite to become stronger. The volume of the spatial star was about 10 moons. Shiyu and the others brought Qi far away from Blue Planet before finding a suitable place to release the white star. After releasing it, it couldn't be taken back. The star stone used by the Cosmic Overlord Army to store stars was a one-time use item. Therefore, Qi could only take it away after refining this into arms. Star refinement, increase points. Qi stood on the back of Shiyu's hand, her heart surging. This was the second skill she could learn after the mythical revival. A moment later, gentle starlight wrapped around Qi. Under the lingering light of the additional points, she immediately felt some changes in her body. Wu, Qi Qiong endured the pain. A moment later, Qi learned the star refinement skill. She sensed the spatial star very happily, but in the following moment, she wilted again. Refining will take about 100 years, she said in despair. Shiyu. 100 years? Continue to increase points. In order to increase the efficiency of the star refinement, he had to at least maximize the star refinement points and upgrade it to Expert plus 11. Shiyu had also thought about the process of adding points to Qi. For the following period of time, he would work hard to add points and sleep. Be it preparing for the God-sealing battle or hunting monster bugs, he needed greater strength to support them. After a long time, Qi finally completed the 15 additional points of the star refinement and began to touch the spatial star again. How long will it take to refine it into arms? Shiyu asked. After Qi sensed it, she still had a long face and said, "Why do I feel that it still needs a few years?" This was even if it was very compatible with the spatial star as a time sprite. G. At the side, Buggy sighed. Fortunately, it chose to refine its Dragon Star and succeeded in a few days. After all, the Dragon Star was created by Buggy itself. The compatibility was 1000%. Even if it wasn't refined, it could be directly controlled. Isn't there any way to accelerate? Shiyu was worried. It'll be too long to await a few more years. Wait, the time spent refining the star is too long. This must be related to the high level of the star. Buggy, in a few days, bring baby ginseng and draw some of the energy resources of this planet together to make it weak. Perhaps the refining time can be shortened. Chapter 1438, 1438 half a year later, 5. 1438 half a year later, 5. It's like subduing a magical treasure. You definitely have to hit until there's barely any health left. But this way, the weapon you obtained might be weak at the start. G. Qi-er. She looked at this beautiful white star aggrievedly. It was going to be wasted by Buggy and baby ginseng before it could be refined into arms? However, this seemed to be the only way. A few years was too long, and it couldn't wait. Next, Shiyu prepared for battle in all aspects. Without lacking additional resources and the cultivation fruit, Shiyu's efficiency in adding points and cultivation increased. On Dong Huang's side, after obtaining the resources provided by Shiyu, Senior Lu, Tyrannical Sea Legend, President Lin, and the others' cultivation speed also increased. Among them, Senior Panda's treatment was the best. 11 specially sent his 8-trigram clone over to be Senior Panda and the mentor of the Iron-Eating Beast Corps. It wasn't easy for him to return to Blue Planet. 11 decided to strengthen the Panda army here first. At least, it had to nurture a batch of overlords. At that time, he could bring these guys to the ranking battle of all races. Just like that, a month later. Just as the owl had predicted, the monster worm didn't appear at all for the past month. Ling successfully built the Eye of the Universe, but unfortunately, the Eye of the Universe couldn't find the hiding place of the monster worm, Meld. However, Ling was certain that if that worm left the hidden place and fought other gods, it would definitely be able to sense it immediately. At this moment, Qi was refining the stars. In the second month, Ling successfully modified itself and finally accomplished the teaching conditions of future prediction. Shiyu successfully taught it the future prediction skill. Moreover, he added points to the perfect stage of the quasi-divine skill. At this moment, after 2 months of development and cultivation, Shiyu's time-strengthening talent had also reached level 8. Shiyu called the Gem Cat over and let Ling predict the location of the monster worm. However, what was extremely displeased was that Ling couldn't predict it at all, just like the owl. Moreover, Ling couldn't even successfully predict the half a year that the owl predicted. This made Shiyu understand that even with the same proficiency, the post-natural instruction premonition cast by Ling was still a little lesser to the racial intrinsic ability branded in the depths of the soul by the astrologers. At this moment, Qi was still refining the star. In the 3rd and 4th months, Shiyu's additional points and cultivation were still carried out in an orderly manner. During this period, Shiyu was still very annoyed. He didn't find the worm, but his fusion talent had been successfully cultivated to level 9. As for Qi, she was still refining the stars. In the 5th month, Shiyu's time-strengthening talent was finally developed to level 9. He assisted Ling and foretold it again. At least he had gained something. It was confirmed that the prophecy of the owl was basically right. According to the owl's premonition, Ling also confirmed the time node where the worm might appear. During this period, Shiyu's quests basically came to an end. All the quasi-divine skills of the 13 pets had been added to the perfect state, Expert plus 11. If they were one step closer, they could become gods. At this point, Shiyu's preparation for the god-sealing battle was considered to have been completed. Shiyu began to turn around and invest the energy of adding points and developing talent in meditation to increase the level of the beast-taming space. After participating in the god-sealing battle, he wanted to break through to the divine level immediately. At that time, he could also be considered an expert on the World King planet, which basically didn't appear in the super-divine level. It would be easier for him to do anything. As expected, Qi was still refining the star. Until 6 months after Shiyu returned to Blue Planet, half a year later. Woo woo woo. An aggrieved voice sounded. Shiyu also opened his eyes helplessly and gazed at the little elf in front of him. It was a little girl with light pink hair and cherry-colored eyes. She had beautiful looks, but she was only the size of a palm. She leaned a pink and white mini umbrella on her shoulder and said, "Shiyu, I finally succeeded in the refinement." It wasn't easy, Shiyu also cried to death. Although they had tortured the white star to its weakest state, Qi still refined it for half a year before successfully refining the white star. The pink and white umbrella in front of him was what it looked like after the transformation of the star Qi had refined. She didn't choose the arms that she had practiced the most when she was young. Instead, she chose the umbrella of time Shiyu had given her as a prototype to build the arms. "I've already tried my best. It's not too late now." Qi spun in midair with the umbrella. Her pink short skirt and the ribbon on her body also fluttered, and her cherry-like beautiful eyes revealed a divine color that had never been seen before. As a time sprite that couldn't have battle power, Qi was very happy to have such powerful arms that could be seen as a skill. Moreover, this arms was definitely not weak. After all, its predecessor was an intermediate-level star. Just its volume was equivalent to 10 moons, and there was a deep space. Even if he didn't care about anything and directly pulled the umbrella on the enemy, he could smash a bunch of totem demigods. To Shi Yu, every pet's improvement speed was undoubtedly very fast. Even the gem cat teacher gazed at the short cat that was born and felt that its strength probably surpassed that of her, a teacher. Not late. Shi Yu said. I'm going to fly around the world to take a look now. Tilda at the same time, I want to go back to Tingxiang and see Grandma Ji Lin, Qi said. Chapter 1439 half a year later, 6. 1439 half a year later, 6. Sure. Go. Shi Yu smiled. Cough. Qi said in embarrassment, I'll go find Buggy to apply an illusion to me. Otherwise, with my current size, I'll definitely scare Grandma Ji Lin and the others. That's true. Shi Yu was amused. The time sprite was really strange. It was no longer important if Qi could find the monster worm. During this period, they tried various methods but couldn't find it. Shi Yu had already given up and planned to wait for the worm to run out on its own. The due date for the owl's premonition was getting closer and closer. The other party's arrival should be in the next few days. It had to come out quickly. After settling it now, he could still return to World King Planet and catch up to the God-sealing battle. Qi flew eagerly in the direction of Tingxiang. After leaving Tingxiang, she hadn't seen Grandma Ji Lin for a long time. Now, Ji Lin had already become a legendary blacksmith. Because she had a good relationship with Qi and Qi had been contracted by the former #1 person on Blue Planet, Shi Yu, Ji Lin's current status in Tingxiang was very high. Boom! Boom! In the palace of Tingxiang, Master Ji Lin was leisurely forging weapons for the younger generation of the royal family with various high-level materials. Suddenly, this bearded dwarf seemed to have heard a familiar voice. Grandma Ji Lin! In the crafting room, as a spatial ripple appeared, Ji Lin looked at the recognizable figure that appeared and was stunned. Qi! She put down the hammer and looked at the even more beautiful and delicate Qi. She exclaimed, Qi, you're back? Yes. Qi chuckled. Grandma Ji Lin, long time no see. Yeah, long time no see. How are you doing at Shi Yu's place? Did he bully you? Grandma Ji Lin asked worriedly. Why are you still the same height? You don't look like you've grown at all. Did you eat badly? The old woman looked at Qi, who was still more than a meter tall, and fell into deep thought. After Shi Yu's world tournament, his reputation on Blue Planet became greater and greater. At the start, Ji Lin was very gratified that Qi had been taken away by Shi Yu. However, later on, Shi Yu and his group of pets had their own performance. Even little Ji and Ducky of the second team were active in the alliance meeting. However, during this period, only Qi had no news at all. This made Ji Lin very worried about Qi's situation. She thought that Qi wasn't liked by Shi Yu and was neglected. No, I'm very good, Qi said. The reason why she didn't appear much was because her identity was a little sensitive after awakening the power of the time sprite's previous life. This identity destined that Qi couldn't help Shi Yu fight as a main battle member. As for height, Qi was helpless. This was still Buggy's disguise. If it was her real height, the problem would be even greater. Not only did it not grow taller, but it also shrank severely. That's true, that's true. The ability you came over with just now was instant transmission, right? Grandma Ji Lin said excitedly. Looks like you've learned an impressive ability. Let's go. The environment here isn't good. Let's change places to drink. Ah, wait, you can't drink. Grandma Ji Lin was worried. However, she still pulled Qi out of the crafting room. However, just as both parties came out, there was suddenly a boom. The sky above Tingxiang trembled like a thunderclap. The sky instantly darkened. A terrifying shadow appeared in the sky above Tingxiang Palace. At the same time, Qi, who came out with Grandma Ji Lin, immediately sent two very powerful auras. Divine level. In the sky, 2 divine-level fluctuations. One of them was very recognizable to Qi. It was the Elven Empress of Tingxiang. However, the other one gave Qi a very unfamiliar feeling. Her expression changed slightly as she suddenly realized something. What happened? Grandma Ji Lin protected Qi behind her and looked at the sky in shock. Your Majesty! At the same time, above the palace, the Elven Empress was facing a centipede with an abnormally huge body. Even if it circled, it was several streets long. Its shell looked very hard. Seeing this centipede monster that was even larger than a dragon, the elves in the palace had frightened expressions. Space worm! However, the ordinary elves didn't know what was going on, but President Orland and the other legendary beast tamers in the city knew some inside information. This guy was probably the space worm that had caused an uproar previously and hunted divine-level beings. Everyone, evacuate and seek help from the Blue Planet Alliance. Those above the legendary level stay behind and protect the capital. In the sky, the Elven Empress was also extremely nervous. She was a new divine-level beast tamer. Her contracted sprite had yet to reach the divine level. The Elven Empress felt that she was powerless to fight the centipede monster in front of her. Legend had it that this monster only attacked lone gods in sparsely populated places. Boom! Just as she finished speaking, the centipede monster that covered the sky attacked the Elven Empress. It opened its huge abyss-like mouth and devoured her. In the capital of Tingxiang, many people watched this terrifying scene. What exactly was this monster? It actually dared to attack the Elven Empress of their Tingxiang. After all, their Elven Empress had already advanced to the divine level. However, they had indeed heard the words that the Elven Empress had spread throughout the city just now. The Elven Empress wanted them to run and ask for help from Blue Planet. This meant that this monster had the ability to threaten the god of Tingxiang and Tingxiang itself. It was very dangerous. Run! Many people heard the order and fled in all directions. There were also some elite elven warriors who stayed on the spot, not wanting to give up on the Elven Empress and leave. Chapter 1440 half a year later, 7. 1440 half a year later, 7. Lil, Annie, Luo Yi, Hylia, and the other elves who had been recommended by the Elven Empress to try and see if they could contract Shiyu, as well as some experts from Tingxiang and the contestants of the World Tournament, were basically in the capital. They were all gathered here. Those under the legendary level, retreat. The president of the association in Tingxiang, President Orland, who had advanced to the legendary level, summoned her pet and already planned to help the Empress. However, at this moment, no one expected that during the centipede monster's attack, a figure would arrive between the centipede monster and the Elven Empress at an extremely fast teleportation speed. It was a pink-haired little girl holding an umbrella. Qi! Grandma Ji Lin was immediately shocked when she saw Qi teleport and disappear, running into the sky. Make way! In the sky, Qi suddenly appeared. She held the retracted star umbrella and swung it at the huge centipede with a confident expression. Crack! In the next moment, dense spiderweb-like patterns appeared in the sky. Space directly shattered, and the centipede monster's attack stopped. Right on the heels of that, the centipede monster's huge body began to shatter into pieces. It was sliced into pieces by spatial cracks. Boom! The huge centipede monster's entire body directly shattered and floated in the sky. Seeing this, everyone below opened their mouths wide and looked at the little girl who suddenly appeared in the sky in confusion. Behind Qi, the Elven Empress also looked shocked and a little stunned. Aunt Empress, don't worry. This guy isn't that intermediate god. Qi held the star umbrella and floated in the air. With a confident smile, she said, however, it's still a little dangerous for you. Leave this guy to me to settle. Leave it to me to settle. As soon as Qi finished speaking, the shattered body of the centipede monster began to stick together again. The injuries were healing at a shocking speed. Many people were astonished by the centipede monster's restoration, but some people were also shocked by the little girl's words just now. Qi! Upon hearing this name, Lil, Annie, Luo Yi, Hylia, and the others were stunned. Qi? You're Qi. At this moment, the Elven Empress completely confirmed that the little girl who had split the centipede that had definitely reached the divine level into pieces in one hit was the naturally weak sprite Xiyu had taken away, Qi. Under Xiyu's cultivation, she was actually so strong? The Elven Empress felt that Qi's strength had probably already exceeded her. She couldn't help but feel suffocated. Yes. Qi nodded and looked at the monster in front of her solemnly. The centipede monster in front of her should only be at the level of a primary level god. It definitely couldn't be an intermediate level god. Qi quickly reached out to Xiyu through telepathy and realized that she could call him. Qi, did you also encounter a big worm? In the starry sky, Xiyu and Ling also sensed the changes on Blue Planet through the eye of the universe. They said with a serious expression, your perception was right. Isn't this that intermediate god? Now, such bugs have materialized all over the world. Among them, there are bee beasts, ant beasts, mosquito beasts. There are several of them. Fortunately, their strength is only at the primary level god. It's just one of them in Tingxiang. Was it a clone? But you don't have to worry. We'll settle it immediately. Buzz. In the starry sky, the stars flickered. A green divine dragon circled in the universe. Behind it, several huge dragon stars floated, ready to attack. This was the real dragon star group. Roar. Accompanied by Buggy's huge roar, every terrifying dragon star that had integrated the power of faith of the era fell to Blue Planet at lightning speed. At this moment, just like Tingxiang, the Seven Islands, Rongguang, Shui-Yuan, Minghua, and many other countries were also attacked by strange bugs. Seven Islands Valkyrie, Rongguang Hero King, Snowfield Battle God, Minghua Death God. These new divine levels looked at the strange worm in front of them solemnly like the Elven Empress of Tingxiang. Oh no! Their moods were also very heavy. Little worm, you actually dare to attack me. Xiyu won't let you off. When Xiyu comes, he'll definitely cut you into pieces. Shen Feng's legendary Z was the only one who took Xiyu's words to heart. The targets of these strange bugs were all locked onto the lone divine level. As for Dong Huang, perhaps because the divine level groups in the capital were serious, it wasn't within the attack range. Die! At this moment, in order to prevent the situation from expanding, Xiyu directly got Buggy to spend money and launch the strongest attack. In various parts of the world, the experts facing the divine level strange worm raised their heads slightly and saw a light descend from the sky. It was a dragon-shaped meteorite. They recognized this move in an instant because Xiyu's green dragon using this move to kill totems above its level in the world tournament was really too spectacular. Dragon Star Group, they said. Wait, Tingxiang, far away in Tingxiang, Qi was like an angry kitten, waving an umbrella. However, the speed at which the Dragon Star Group descended was very fast. It was already close in less than ones. The green gold light that was like a meteor was like a divine dragon that had descended from the starry sky. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws, coming from the starry sky with an incomparably terrifying pressure. The so-called dragon form was just flames produced by its friction with the atmosphere, and its main body was a small planet. The descent of the asteroid shocked many people. Meteorite impact. They felt that even if the divine level worm didn't cause damage, this huge meteorite could still smash a country. However, these people's worries were completely unnecessary. Boom! The meteorite descended with incomparable might, directly suppressing the centipede monster's body and suppressing it to the ground from the sky. An earth-shattering air wave rumbled and trembled. As the clouds disturbed, the dragon star crushed the centipede monster. Before it could approach the ground, the centipede monster's body turned into black charcoal under the burning of the dragon-shaped fire. Squeak! The centipede monster also let out a miserable cry. As for the huge meteorite that continued to descend and covered the entire city in darkness, when it approached the ground and tall buildings, scaring a group of people, it actually unbelievably didn't cause any damage. The entire meteorite directly fell apart into light spots that filled the sky, and it was blown away by the wind with the centipede monster that turned into black ashes. On the ground, the hearts of a group of people thumped and they swallowed their saliva crazily. This situation happened everywhere. Every insect monster was smashed and burned by the huge dragon star meteorite that descended from the sky, and it didn't cause any damage to the surroundings. This meteorite that was like a divine punishment immediately stunned everyone. The divine-level experts who were facing the attack of the worm monsters also looked at the unknown starry sky with twitching eyes. Xiaoyu? Green Dragon? Was this guy a monster? A divine-level worm was instantly killed just like that? Moreover, Xiaoyu wasn't at the scene at all. He had attacked from an unknown distance. At this moment, in the capital of Tingxiang, everyone, including the Elven Empress, was in shock. They were first astonished by Qi's appearance and her shocking strength. Then, they were shocked by Xiaoyu's attack. The Elven Empress realized that she had still underestimated Xiaoyu. After returning from the World King planet, Xiaoyu's strength had actually reached such a ridiculous level? I really am. At this moment, seeing Buggy's decisive attack and transcendent strength, Qi wasn't surprised at all. This was because that worm was indeed not strong. Even she was confident of killing, hunting, and protecting Tingxiang. It was precisely because of this that Qi, who thought that she could snatch the first clear of the team, immediately had a heart attack when she saw her prey being shot. Woo woo woo, it was too much. Yi! Of course, beside Buggy, baby Ginseng was shaking its head, extremely denying that the first clear of the divine level in the team was Buggy's. No matter how one looked at it, those bugs only looked like the clone of that intermediate god. They couldn't be considered a complete individual, but they could bully a new weak god. Roar! Buggy said. Then the first clear of the main body should also be Susu's. Didn't it say not to explode it? Baby Ginseng also had a heart attack. Woo woo woo, it was too much. Stop arguing. Xiaoyu gritted his teeth and smiled. This guy finally appeared. Come on, give it to me. Let me see where's your main body. At the same time, a black shadow dormant in the whole of the universe opened its angry eyes. The clones it created to hunt were actually hunted? It was too much.